This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Breaking this afternoon, according to Mariah Medina of News 4 San Antonio, former Spur Bryn Forbes has been arrested on a third-degree felony charge of assault, strangulation, choking of a family member. You might recall Forbes was arrested around this time last year on a family violence charge. That was dismissed last month after he completed a pre-trial diversion program.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy. It's a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday.
And apparently it's Fat Tuesday.
Oh, is it really?
Well, Carlos in our YouTube got the whiskey and got the Blitz on, ready for another great show. Happy Fat Tuesday.
Well, that's cool.
Is it Fat Tuesday?
I guess it is Fat Tuesday. I know tomorrow is Ash Wednesday.
Well, then today is Fat Tuesday.
All right, then. I guess it's Fat Tuesday.
You know, what's the word I'm looking for? You spend a week on Radio Row.
Uh-huh.
And you feel like you've been out of touch with the rest of the world, right? Now, because I have no idea why Dak is jumping in there.
Just here we go.
Here we go. A little late. That's all right. Last week in Las Vegas, next year's Super Bowl is in New Orleans.
Uh-huh.
So the New Orleans Super Bowl host committee has a display, a stand, whatever you want to call it, like at a convention. And they had the baby cake there, and they had fried catfish, and they had different New Orleans themed things. So I've had the baby cake, had a couple different times last week. I'm not thinking it's Fat Tuesday.
Now, is it really a baby cake unless you find the baby?
Well, it's a cake with a baby in it. No,
Did you find the baby?
No.
Well, then it's not really a baby cake,
well,
is
but they had cake.
it? Okay.
Damn it, they had cake.
It was cake.
It was cake.
I'd like to find that baby.
Would you really?
Well, I guess.
It'd be like Tim Spence and lose a tooth on that thing.
Isn't that good luck to find the baby?
It's a king's cake. Is that right? That's what it's called?
King's cake.
That has a baby in it.
Right. And isn't it supposed to be good luck if you find the baby? I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah.
If you find the baby, it's good luck?
Well, because the baby's
or
only...
if you find somebody to try to make a baby with on Bourbon Street, that's also good luck.
Well, that's not hard. It is good luck.
Well, if you don't end up with the baby, it is. It's a great night.
Dude, I don't think that's too difficult in New Orleans, especially this time of year. Probably pretty easy to do.
Any time of year.
Yeah,
They call it the
that's
Big
true.
Easy for a reason.
Yes.
Right? Good Lord. I think Pledge is mad at us.
Is he?
You mad at us?
He had to do a lot of work right before the show.
A lot of editing today.
Yeah.
A lot of editing.
He did a fine job, though.
Well, we hope, because
Well, he better have, or we're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm throwing y'all under the bus for
Exactly.
that.
yeah, there were a lot of FUs coming out of that studio a little while ago.
And it wasn't from Pledge.
It really wasn't. Now that we're back from Super Bowl, some of the stuff that we didn't get into yesterday. And again, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, I hate
You're salty?
Always. I mean, I hate the 49ers. But even my emotion last week of my dislike for the San Francisco 49ers, I'm just not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes.
Uh-huh.
Right? And the Cowboys have still won a Super Bowl more recently than the San Francisco 49ers. Right? And then a friend of mine sent me a song that he heard produced following the San Francisco 49ers loss. And I imagine a lot of Cowboy fans or a lot of fans of teams that hate the San Francisco 49ers, you probably can't use this as your ringtone, and you got to be careful in mixed company, but it's got a great beat to it.
Damn, the 49ers, yeah. The 49ers, yeah. The 49ers, y'all are sorry. Team, thanks. The 49ers, damn, I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all 49ers, y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty jams. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Super Bowl losing streak. Yeah. Hey, the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. Thanks. I hate that your team. Thanks. Brock Purdy look like Jimmy Neutron, Fred Sheen. Team Tom Brady got your quarterback from Sheen. Why I hate that team so much? Where can I begin? Damn, George Kittle, bro, he look like Ben Franklin. Damn, Brock Purdy, bro, he look like Ronald Reagan. Damn, Debo Samuel, bro, he look like the baby. Damn, the 49ers. I can't say it enough. Yeah, y'all thought y'all had this one, huh? Yeah, that was just a bluff. And I ain't trying to hear what you gotta say about my team. Wow. We both went home with the same amount of rings.
Yeah.
Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks.
It's going to be one of those earworms that, yeah.
That reminds me of Tropic Thunder. You ever you got booty juice? Like dude selling booty juice. I got some booty juice.
Joe Reinagle looking like an old white guy dancing in the club. That's in the studio. For those watching on YouTube, I don't recommend those dance moves. Not at all.
Hey, they work.
I mean, in your mind, you were dancing like Usher on Sunday night. In reality, this is what you're looking like, right?
Well, you know, we both take our shirts off. Usher and I look a lot alike. So
yeah, not even close. Not even close.
Oh, man.
But there is a theme to that because did you see the video of Marshawn?
Booty sweat. That's what it was.
Booty sweat.
Booty sweat.
Booty juice. Booty sweat. Same thing. Same thing. Just don't dance. Did you see Marshawn Lynch? How many people, especially, I mean, you know, the viral videos, and I don't understand these idiots that will destroy a television when their team loses.
That's
unless
ridiculous.
That's pre-planned and you're ready to upgrade to an 80-inch television or something like that. But in the moment, you don't destroy a television. But those are viral. And then the fights from San Francisco fans that we saw in Las Vegas. And your team loses a Super Bowl. The last thing you want is somebody walking up to you and saying something bad about your team.
Sure.
Fights happen that way.
Right.
Unless, of course, your name is Marshawn Lynch.
49er fans? Yeah. You. Marshawn, baby. What I want to do, baby. You little ugly motherfucker. You a Niner fan?
Yes, sir.
You? Are you a 49er fan?
Yes, I am.
You?
Hey,
Yes, I am.
Are you a 49er fan?
absolutely.
You? You a 49er fan? You? Are you a 49er fan?
Hell yeah.
You? Excuse me. 49er man. 49er man. 49er man. 49er man. 49er man. Are you a 49er fan?
Yes, sir.
You.
Hey, you a 49er fan? You?
Yeah, nobody else gets away with that.
No, you get punched in the mouth. Entertaining as hell. Carlos says, come on, man. I'm a Cowboy fan, but at least they made it to the Super Bowl. That's something our Cowboys need to work on. There's a lot of truth to that. But in reality, and there is a lot of truth to that. But they are now on a, 3-game Super Bowl losing streak, right? You know, it's like the Buffalo Bills. You know, they made it, but they never cashed in. I don't know, losing the Super Bowl, get there, all of that. At the end of the year, only one team is happy.
That's
you know,
it.
And I do think, you know, when you said it earlier in the year, Joe, and you were willing to go serve drinks at the Roo Pub in a Cowboy cheerleader uniform if they at least made the NFC Championship game, quite frankly, I think it would hurt even more to get that close and lose than to be out in the first round. I mean, losing sucks all the way around, right?
Dude, are you serious?
Yes.
No, because
yes.
you would have had 2 weeks of hype. We would have been, talking up the Cowboys, hearing from Jerry Jones. It would have been great. And then they lose in the Super Bowl. You say, well, at least they got there. That's a step. When you get your ass kicked by the Green Bay Packers in the first round, what hope do you have?
Well, I mean, no hope, no soap, end of the rope hope. But at the same time, though, getting there losing, imagine, and I saw RJ Ochoa tweet something like this. The stress of that game, if you're a San Francisco fan, you feel like you won it, and then you don't. Losing sucks, whether it's in the first round or in the Super Bowl. All of it sucks. Would I like to see the Cowboys at least get to an NFC championship game to take a next step to do? Absolutely. But to lose in a Super Bowl? Yeah. I mean, to get there and lose, yeah. No,
it sucks.
It sucks.
It does. It does.
Sucks.
But what an exciting playoff run for the 49ers.
Dude, it was.
Yeah, they almost get beat by the Packers. Almost get beat by the Detroit Lions. Make it. Have victory snatched from them by Patrick Mahomes.
Coach made bad decisions.
It wasn't their coach.
Their coach said, Patrick Mahomes, we're going to give you the ball last, which is a bad decision.
Well, not if you score a touchdown first.
The overtime rules, sir.
I know. You score a touchdown first. He's got to score a touchdown.
Well,
you get the ball back.
You're giving Patrick Mahomes the ball second. That's always a bad decision.
I like the aggressiveness. You go down
then you go for it on fourth down if you're aggressive.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's what I said yesterday. I wish they would have done that because kicking the field goal, once they kicked the field goal, I was resigned to the fact that it was over. I was done because Patrick Mahomes getting the football. So look, and maybe, Pledge just put it up there. They're playing on it's all long 2-point conversion. Fine. Doesn't mean they're going to make it. But if you're San Francisco, you get to the 5-yard line, you don't score a touchdown, you kick a field goal instead, you're going to lose. But if you score a touchdown there, the worst that can happen, unless they go for 2, is it's a tie. You get the football back, and it's sudden death after that.
All of that makes sense. You just don't give Patrick Mahomes the last laugh. You don't give him the opportunity.
You don't kick a field goal. If you're going to be aggressive and go for it.
Dan Campbell would have.
He would have. And been criticized to the moon for it.
He would have. That's why those coaches get paid the big money.
That's right. Well, Kyle Shanahan now is can't win the big one. That's the rep now.
It's interesting, and I mean, they were talking about this with Kyle Shanahan. Same with Andy Reid. Andy Reid was close in Philadelphia, couldn't win there, had to go to Kansas City. Kyle Shanahan, you wonder, because they've gotten over a hump more so than the Dallas Cowboys, but they haven't won the big one. And for Mike McCarthy, dude, you've got to get to an NFC championship game. You've got to get over a different hump to get there. But you do wonder with Kyle Shanahan, who is 8 points worth of leads in his 3 Super Bowls.
I know it.
Or 45 points.
That was an interesting question. I heard it on Jim Rome today. Why does Kyle Shanahan get all the blame for that Atlanta loss and not Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons when that happened. Kyle Shanahan rolled up 28 points.
Yeah, and you know what Kyle Shanahan did when he was the OC of Atlanta, and he did it this week in San Francisco. He got in the second half and forgot to run the damn ball, didn't use up enough clock, and the defense didn't make a stop, and you lose the game.
So it's all Kyle Shanahan's fault. Dan Quinn gets no fault there at all.
I mean, Dan Quinn's defense. Dan Quinn took a lot of heat for a long time. Dan Quinn lost his job as head coach.
I just hear today how Shanahan's such a loser and how he blew the game.
Such a loser.
And blew the game in it, the Super Bowl to Atlanta. Now, keep in mind, Shanahan lost to Tom Brady. And now Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Couple of goats.
Yeah.
Couple of goats. 2 dynasty teams.
Not bad. I mean, if you're Kyle Shanahan, you're like, well, okay. I mean, geez.
Not bad. You sound like something Cliff Kingsbury said one time on this show when he was a backup quarterback for the New England Patriots and Tom Brady's single days. Now, if you've seen Cliff Kingsbury and you've seen the ladies he dates, that guy has no trouble. None at all. But he said on this show one time, going out with Tom Brady and taking his what Tom didn't want.
Uh-huh.
I forget the term that he used.
Leftovers.
His cast off.
Castaways. Yeah, the cast-offs. That was pretty good for Cliff Kingsbury.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Sure.
Who was just fine on his own. But yeah.
You lose to Tom Brady, it's okay. Patrick Mahomes, he probably has a few cast-offs as well. Maybe old Brock Purdy ought to follow Mahomes around.
Brock Purdy's getting carted everywhere he goes. You know how that goes. So let's talk about a winning team.
Yeah.
I can't say that very often about our Spurs, but they look like a winning team last night, and a blowout victory, and Wemby doing incredible things. We're talking Spurs when we come back here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, and you need your logo on any kind of gear, get into Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. Jackets, half zips, hoodies, you need your logo on any kind of winter gear, you still got time to get that done over at Sammy's Embroidery Club. If you need your logo on a nice golf shirt, a dress shirt, Sam will get you taken care of. Uniforms, he has over 700 uniform lines to choose from all kinds of industries, medical, restaurant, construction, schools, leagues, just to name a few. If you need T-shirts, screen printed, go see Sam. If you need caps, man, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. Call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, a mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, I want to talk to you about life's unexpected curveballs. Have you ever been hit with challenges that leave your smile in the dust? Well, I've got some uplifting news for you from Doctor's Implants. You know, life can throw some serious hurdles our way, and at Doctor's Implants, they meet patients every day facing the fallout of medical conditions causing their teeth to go south. But here's the scoop. At Doctor's Implants, they are on a mission to bring back your smile no matter what life has thrown your way. So if health-related dental problems have been holding you back, don't lose hope. Doctor's Implants is your ticket to a fresh start. You can check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And when you call them at 210-640-0000, mention that I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. That's your key to a complimentary consultation and CT scan. Look, don't let life's challenges steal your smile. Call Doctor's Implants today. 210-640-0000.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Psst. Hey, Mark, remember, getting help from Progressive is so easy. You can use the mobile app, chat with us online, or call us.
And you pick now to tell me.
I couldn't miss Little Grace's ballet recital. Oh, thanks for inviting me, by the way.
Did I?
Because you know I'm always here for you.
Yeah. I can use the mobile app if I need help. Sorry, you're in my wife's seat, though?
Oh, yeah, I gotta go anyway. Tell Grace she nailed her chassé.
Get the help you need from Progressive with our mobile app, online chat, or over the phone. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
The Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
I love San Antonio, man. I love it.
On 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, Friday, the Blitz is going to be live out at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road. So Friday, come hang out. You got the Rising Stars game thing going on for NBA All-Star Weekend. What's it called? The Rising Stars Challenge?
Challenge.
Yeah. You know, Wemby's going to be in that thing.
Wemby.
Dude, could you imagine if last night's game was on TNT? After talking with Kevin Harlan last week on Radio Row, the amount of times that would have been screamed out of the mouth of Kevin Harlan, because last night was one of those games where you just kind of look at it and you know what you've got with Wemby. You know, Rookie of the Year, it might have been cemented last night. The triple-double, the amount of blocks, the intimidation, just all of the game. And he did it in 29 minutes.
Well, that's incredible. I mean, but look, as tall as he is, I have a feeling that 10 blocks is not going to be something that happens every now and then. I think this guy, that he's going to make a habit of that. I mean, it's very difficult for anybody, I don't care who you are, to go into the lane and try to get up a shot. So I don't know. I don't think that that's going to be something that's unusual for this guy. I think it's going to be, maybe not a triple-double, but I'm just saying, I think 10 blocks is going to be something that we're going to be talking about quite a bit.
True, but it's just so rare.
It is.
To see a triple-double with the blocks, not the assists. The way he was doing it was just so impressive. And quite frankly, everybody last night played great basketball against a crappy team, a team that's, well, is about as bad as the Spurs. So it was, there was equal there. But the way they were sharing the basketball, the way they were shooting the basketball, that one pass from Devin Vassell might have been the pass of the year. Even Wemby's reaction afterwards was pretty damn funny. Like he couldn't believe it. I don't know if he was surprised at the pass from Devin Vassell, the athletic ability, the athletic ability, or the fact that, holy crap, that's a pass from Devin Vassell.
The guy actually passed it to him.
It was last night. There's far and few games this year with the Spurs where it was fun to watch, and they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
And even last night, they were up 17 at halftime. And I tweeted something, and Jeff McDonald said, but what could go wrong? And I said the third quarter. And even in the fourth quarter in our group chat, do we think they could blow this lead? And the fact that we did, and if they would have, none of us would have been surprised. But last night was one of those games where you go, okay. You know, yesterday we were saying, have you seen progress? Last night, again, against a bad basketball team, but against the bad teams, at least they look like a basketball team last night.
Well, and that's it. And that's, look, if we see the
progress with Wemby all the time, Pop last night after the game talked about the progress he is seeing from Wemby.
I think he's gotten to another level where he's got supreme confidence in his ability to make something happen offensively, whether it's making a decision to drive it instead of shooting a three, or how to involve his teammates. He's sort of taken over that role. So he's definitely gotten to another level.
I mean, when you see stuff like that, it's very hard to argue that he's gotten to another level when he can do the things that he was doing last night. again, I would just like to see some consistency because we got excited the other day, right before the 7-game losing streak. Who did they beat? Somebody, and we were all excited. It was a great game. They beat
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, good
right.
team.
So we were like, wow, all right,
there it is. Yeah,
and then 7 straight.
Well, I mean, again, don't be greedy.
I am greedy.
We're all greedy.
Yes,
but last night they shot the ball well. Devin Vassell was 9 of 15. He was 5 of 7 from 3. Jeremy Sohan 7 of 12 shooting last night. I mean, the Spurs shot 53% for the game.
Yeah,
it's amazing that you can score points when the ball goes through the basket. I mean, they were making shots, and it looked like a lot of the shots we've seen them taking. So it was a night that the shots were going in. They built a big lead. They had a solid third quarter. I mean, hell, they scored last night. The third quarter's been so bad for the Spurs all year. That was their highest scoring total quarter last night, was the third quarter.
Look, they came out from the get-go, though, energetic, ready to play.
Why can't they do that in America?
I don't know. Maybe it is Toronto. We'll go to Canada and play better. But that's what you want to see. That's the progress that everybody's looking for if they can put some games together. A big test tomorrow night in Dallas, obviously.
Yeah.
The Mavericks at
Getaway
home.
game.
Sure. But, yeah, and but for both, because, look, if you believe Pop and these guys are as tired as he says, they probably cannot wait until that final buzzer sounds in Dallas tomorrow night.
And it's the middle of the rodeo road trip. They'll come home, get a break, and then continue it. I heard Dan Weiss say last night on the broadcast, that was their last game in the Eastern time zone. Like every game the rest of the way is west of the Mississippi.
Wow.
That seems weird,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
Sure does.
I mean, and that's one of those Danalytic kind of things that, I guess when you're traveling with the team, you're looking ahead and thinking of it that way. I had not, nor have I double-checked Dan, because why would I? I mean, if he's putting it out there and saying it,
sure,
that it just seems kind of weird that everything from now on is west.
Well, and the West is a crazy mess right now. A lot of good teams playing some pretty good basketball. So it'll be a good way for them to finish the season. And hopefully we get more nights like we had last night.
Last night was fun, 122-99. Now, I heard on the morning huddle today, and they weren't bitching or complaining, but last night was a costly win for the Spurs.
Yes, it was.
Because of draft picks and what they're getting from Toronto and where it's protected and all that kind of stuff. And I got to admit, I don't give a damn this year.
I don't either.
I know last year we were playing the tanking game to get Wemby. I know we got a ton of draft picks. I know you want the best possible picks and all that kind of stuff. But I'd rather see them go win some basketball games this year than do what they can to cement the bottom. Two bad teams are playing, and it was a win, but it was costly because we played that game last year. I cannot play that game this year.
Yeah, I'm so sick and tired of this team losing games that when you see a game, you get an opportunity like that, and you see a special performance from a young phenom, I'm happy. Screw the draft pick. Spurs have plenty. They got plenty of money, and they're going to be fine should they choose to use that capital in the offseason.
Now, on our YouTube chat, James Pledger, who does his own show every day from 6 to 7, but no show today, so I guess he's just going to chime in in the comments. He'd rather use those picks for Trae Young. I don't disagree with that, and there is a report right now. Was it Chams that posted it?
It was.
That in this offseason, Trae Young's preferred destination is San Antonio in a trade. I am down with that, 100%. I was down with that at the trade deadline. I'd rather have Trae than I would DeJounte.
Sure.
If Atlanta's going to start unloading, I'll take Trae in a heartbeat.
Look, I think Trae Young is great. I would but that's not the the piece they need.
No, but
I mean they need other people. But yeah, that'd be a great start. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to complain.
That's a guy that will pass it to the tall one.
Yeah, he definitely will, and he's a guy that can make things happen. So yeah, I would love to see that, and I hope that's what we're talking about this offseason. I hope the Spurs are players in the free agent market. I hope that they are, because that's what they need. And again, I don't expect them to make a bunch of trades and be a championship contender next year. Fine. But put some pieces around. Let's see the building
competitive.
Let's see the building going up instead of just, we're still breaking ground.
in a roundabout way, and I forget who last week in Las Vegas we were talking to. But it wasn't even on there. It was just conversation with, gazillion sportscasters are in a town.
Oh, yeah,
And,
sure.
what the hell's going on in San Antonio was a pretty common question because people thought that this year was about winning, especially with Wemby.
Well, that's what we were told.
But, a lot of people point and say, well, how long is Greg Popovich going to continue to lose at his age? You would think that if the guy really wants to win, he would kickstart the rebuild, make some trades, and try to get better as soon as possible, because how many years does he have left as the head coach of the Spurs?
And that's the legit question. It's a fair question. We'll see this offseason. We will see what happens with the Spurs and how aggressive they are this offseason and what the plans are for this team and who's there and who's not. I completely expect to see a different ball club take the floor next October than the one that's playing right now.
Because we heard Pop say not long ago, look at Oklahoma City. They did it through the draft. I don't know that Pop has enough time. I'm not down for a 3, 4, 5 year rebuild. I'm just not.
I don't think, and we shouldn't be. Should we?
No.
I mean, maybe I'm being selfish, but I don't think we should be.
I am selfish.
Yes.
I don't start. We haven't made the playoffs clock over because we got Wemby now, and that starts a new time frame. It's been a while since we've been in the playoffs.
You got to keep that kid too, and there's don't assume that that's going to happen. I mean, don't waste his time here in San Antonio. If it should happen to be, that's all we get.
Cowboys have a new defensive coordinator, and with a coaching change, you wonder if that is a sign that some guys just might not fit a certain system. We'll dive into who might be in trouble as far as the Cowboys roster goes. And there's some names on a list that was posted that would surprise you when you think of what Mike Zimmer likes and what the Cowboys have and who might have to go, because Mike Zimmer likes a type. We'll dive into that next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, this will come as no surprise to anyone. Stevens Roofing is the one name in roofing that stands high above the rest. There's no debating that. Stevens Roofing. In fact, a quality roof overhead by Stevens Roofing means comfort. It means confidence. It means peace of mind, protection for all those things you love. Look, when you're in the market for repairs or replacement roof, an upgrade, even if you just want your roof checked out to make sure that it's okay, you want to work with a team that's experienced, that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of the craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. They provide roofing in both commercial and residential, a wide variety of materials for all of South Texas. Call Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. Look, call them. They're the best in the business. They've been in business for a long time, and they're not going anywhere. They will stand behind their work. Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are going to try to stack some wins. Can Wemby get a double-double, triple-double?
And the Dallas Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer. Who is he? We'll ask a few friends to find out. And what are you pissed off about? We'll talk about it when we air those grievances. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, poker players, the Big Blind is open. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. Whether you are seeking high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road, just down from the Rue Pub, offers daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 in Redland Road.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at HEB is now. Southern Recipe, be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Progressive presents advice on new teen drivers.
You know, the hardest part about teaching your teen to drive is the chafing from the seatbelt. But the best part is the grip strength you build in your knuckles. Okay, now let's pull out of the driveway.
Here's another tip. Offset a chunk of the cost of adding a teen to your insurance with Progressive's Teen Driver Discount and get a break from the break. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 210-615-7777 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we'll look at the Spurs prospects against the Mavericks and how they're going to close out this rodeo road trip. Now, back to Jason and Joe. I got accused of stealing a Stanley Cup, or better yet, RJ did. Now the cup is gone. Jason, what were your motives? I think you took that thing home.
That's right here. Using it right now.
So why would you leave the cup here? That's the question.
Well, so I can use it at work.
Well, yeah, but you going to trust RJ and Rob Thompson now?
Well, I can lock it in my office.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to have to.
At this point.
I wouldn't leave in the studio with those dudes.
No, that ain't going to happen. Although it was all on Rob. Rob's literally the one that said RJ took it.
Yeah.
And then Rob found it in his bag.
Uh-huh.
Which is typical Rob Thompson.
Boy, that bus ran over RJ 3 times.
And Rob is driving it. And I don't even know that he's realizing it. I mean, nobody here in the office today was surprised, or yesterday, what day is it? That Rob lost the car. But everybody's like, but RJ?
Yeah, right? Oh. Well, you know, they had RJ is a cranky dude in the mornings.
Salty,
yeah. That's why we call him Mort.
Yep.
I forgot about that until just now. Name's Mort.
Mort,
Professor and Mort.
Yeah. Are they going with those? Are those nicknames aren't sticking, are they?
Morty and the Professor.
Good.
I think Rob's going with the Professor or Chief of Strategic Transitions.
Rob will never remember that. Rob will never remember that. I mean, I was listening back to when my daughter was on, who was out there as our helper.
Yeah.
And her little zinger about Rob Thompson right off the bat was just perfect.
Remind me, what was it?
Do you have it, Pledge? Can you find it? Because Joe's asking me to remind him, and I'm trying to think exactly what she said. While Pledge pulls that up, Jesse wants to talk some Spurs, then we'll get into some Cowboys talk. Hey, Jesse, you're on the Blitz. What's up, man?
Cool. Just wanted to say real quick, it seems like Pop doesn't have the same energy like he did back in the day with him, Tony, and Manu. It seems like he's like that grandpa that's babysitting the grandkids, and he doesn't have that parental energy anymore. Also, too, it seems like he's okay with the losses. And with all these draft picks that we have, by the time he sends them to Austin and they come back to San Antonio, he's got to be 95 years old, the way Pop is. And thank you guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. A couple of things with Pop. The energy is there. The coach than what we're used to, because I think he realizes screaming and yelling at these young kids probably isn't the way to get through to them. I don't think it's true though.
Poor kids.
I don't think he likes to lose, but he understands what he's got.
Why was it okay to yell at a 19-year-old Tony Parker, and it's not okay to yell at these kids? I mean, I don't understand it. Why?
That team was built to win championships.
Oh, and this one's not.
It's not.
Okay.
Clearly.
So we can just let them lose, and it's okay. We'll just go on about our business, and no problem. Let them make $40 million a year, whatever the hell they're making.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know it's play school. I thought it was the NBA.
Well, it is the NBA. It's they're high priced. Pledge, come on, man.
I didn't know it was Pledge says spanking your kids was legal at 1.2. Is it illegal now?
It's frowned upon.
No, it's not.
Well, you can't beat the hell out of them.
Well, you can spank their butt.
Maybe. Just not at Walmart when they won't shut up trying to get extra candy.
Well, that's when they should get their butts whipped.
This was last week. My daughter, Erica, who was our helper on Radio Row after she had been working with Warren Sapp, she jumped on real quick to tell us what it was like working with Warren Sapp. Maybe. My daughter, Erica, see if those are the right ones. You got to put them on the right way, kid. You've worked in radio now for 2 years. You've got to put them on the right way.
I'm acting like Rob Thompson.
Yeah. Truer words have not been spoken. There was some truth there. Rob comes by it naturally.
Yeah, poor Rob.
But
he's
Rob.
kind of done it to himself.
He really has.
Yeah, he has.
He owns it.
Oh, hello.
Rob Thompson's running the show.
Rob Thompson running the show. Driving that bus.
Mike Zimmer, as the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, reaction is mixed to a degree, and personally, I'm mixed. It wasn't the splash hire, the young, innovative guy. It wasn't, retread if you want to go that way. And I was kind of hoping the Cowboys might do something like that, but I'm not mad at the Mike Zimmer hire. Hard-nosed coach. They're probably going to run a lot more man than they did under Dan Quinn, but there will be some nuances that are different. Well, an article out of Dallas lists 6 players that might not fit into a Mike Zimmer system. And I hear that, and my skin starts to crawl a little bit because I think about, the last guy that wanted a certain type, Rod Marinelli. Let's not take TJ Watt. He's not very, he doesn't fit the type. So we're going to go Taco Charlton.
Yeah.
Right. So I've got a little PTSD when I hear the type of player a certain guy wants. Now, granted, Dan Quinn did too. Dan Quinn likes undersized linebackers, which is kind of odd since he had the Legion of Boom. But, Dan Quinn did extremely well until he didn't for the Dallas Cowboys. Just like every coach, you do well until you don't. So as much as I like Dan Quinn, I'm glad he's the head coach of Washington. But when I think about some of the guys on this list, it's making me think, well, Mike Zimmer surely can adapt his system to the players that the Cowboys have. Like number 1 on this list is Deron Bland.
Yeah. I mean, think about Deron Bland and how when that defense, everybody was happy, he's returning touchdowns, big sixes, big splash. But then, did he guard anybody?
Well, I mean, he gave up 660 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns on 84 targets. Would he fit? That becomes a legitimate question. Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith, doesn't matter who the defensive coordinator is. If he doesn't get better, he's going to be on his way out regardless. It's like that Tristan Hill guy.
You got to give him an opportunity. I think you got to see what happens this year, see if he improves at all. Look, they were high on him. We were high on him when they drafted him. We thought that was a great draft pick. He just didn't play well this year. We got to see what he does in year 2.
The development, and consistently and talking to different people, it takes a couple years to understand the NFL game or to play at that level. We're not a patient society. First round pick, I need immediate impact.
Yeah, you need
to. Again, Sam Williams falls into that category as well. Same kind of thing. But then you start looking at Trayvon Diggs.
Wow. That's going to upset some Cowboy fans.
Well, I mean, especially with the contract that he signed, but the style of play that Mike Zimmer plays, and Trayvon gave up a lot of yards. He's one of those corners. He's going to take his chances going for batted balls and interceptions. But if you risk it and you miss, you're going to give up big plays. Every defensive back gives up plays, right? So you just wonder. But also, it might be personal because Mike Zimmer was the head coach of Minnesota when Stephon Diggs was there, and they didn't get along.
I don't think it's going to be personal, but between Zimmer and Trayvon, but will it be personal the other way from Trayvon to Zimmer? That could be an issue because that's been a conversation between the Diggs brothers. Oh my gosh, y'all hired Mike Zimmer? That guy is yeah. So that could be the personal part. I don't think this is going to happen on the side of Mike Zimmer, but it certainly could be when it comes to Trayvon.
Well, and the idea of the Diggs brothers playing together, you wonder.
That's not going to happen. And would you really want that to happen? No. Stephon Diggs has turned into the biggest prima donna that there is.
Well, he's a wide receiver. It's in the job description,
I guess. That dude.
But at the same time, they want to make it happen. Having a Stephon Diggs opposite of a CeeDee Lamb, and again, the Cowboys can't afford that. I just don't see how the Cowboys can afford that and pay Micah and all the other things. Another guy that DeMarvion Overshown, which remember he got hurt in preseason. You really wish that he would be able to come back, play, contribute. You wonder how well he would have done this year.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike Zimmer loves linebackers, especially off-ball linebackers. He drafted linebackers high when he was in Minnesota. Leighton Vander Esch, I don't see Leighton Vander Esch coming back.
Well, I don't know. I read an article today, in fact, this morning, that Leighton Vander Esch is trying to decide what he wants to do. And I'm with you there. I think the decision's got to be, look, you want to have a life, after football. And if there's any concern or question, might be time to ride off into the sunset.
Leighton Vander Esch looks done. And Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lee, same guy. Tyron Smith. If Leighton Vander Esch does come back this year, do you think you can count on him for 17 games?
No,
he's Tyron Smith.
Yeah.
It's not if he gets hurt, it's when and how many games. The Cowboys have to move on from Leighton Vander Esch. You got to figure out a way to replace him. And quite frankly, I don't think any of us realized just how important he was to that defense until he wasn't there. It's not a surprise that after Leighton got hurt and was essentially done for the year, that is when we started to question Dan Quinn's defenses, because those defenses started giving up bigger and bigger plays.
I'll ask you a question. If that's the case with Vander Esch, is it not the case with Tyron Smith? Isn't it time to move on from that guy? When he plays well, but you can't count on him for 17 games. You're lucky to get 11 or 12 out of him.
And Pledge, can you check real quick? I think Tyron Smith's deal is up, right? His deal is up.
So do you bring him back?
Well, in a reduced role or a reduced salary for sure, but he is still better than most of our backups, and they have not replaced him. And replacing a tackle like that will be difficult, especially if you go with a rookie. Do you push Tyler Smith now out to tackle? Does Tyron come back kind of like that swing offensive lineman, backup offensive line? Remember when they signed Jason Peters at 40 years old, who ended up playing well, but that guy, I'm not ready to completely move on from Tyron Smith, but certainly not at his salary and probably not as a starter. But if he is in a reserve role, absolutely, I would bring Tyron Smith back.
But would Tyron Smith do that? The guy's a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer. Do you come back as a backup or a reserve? I don't think he does that. I really don't. So I think it's going to come down to Jerry Jones making that call. Look, Tyron, we want you back, but we're only going to pay you this. And Tyron's going to say, well, nice knowing you. I'm going to go somewhere else. And you never know what kind of market will be out there.
Or he's going to retire.
Or he's going to retire.
Because keep in mind, Tyron is still young. He's younger than Zach Martin.
Just can't stay healthy. That's the problem.
Which tells me it will be hard for him to get a job on another team as well, especially for high-priced. I guess the bigger question, Tyron, how much longer do you want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
And are you willing to do this in this role?
Oh, I mean, that's the question. I would hate to see that, honestly. That'd be great for the Cowboys, but I'd hate to see it. That's one of the biggest tragedies in my mind, and maybe tragedy is not the right word, but for great players to stay too long at the party. And if Tyron Smith is going to be relegated to a backup role, to me, that's just sad.
Well,
I'd rather see him ride out on top.
Why is it okay for Tyron Smith, or not okay for Tyron Smith to have a role like that? But a year ago, it was bring Zeke back in that backup role to Tony Pollard.
Sure. Well, Zeke, he would have been a hell of a lot better off in Dallas than he was in New England.
He would have been.
He played that role in New England, by the way.
He did, but you're okay with that. Is that not the same thing we're talking about with Tyron Smith?
No, because Zeke is not a Hall of Famer. He's not, and he won't be. But Tyron Smith is. He's a great player, was once the best lineman in the league, perhaps, arguably. Zeke was not that.
I agree with that, but I mean, you still talk about a star player taking a lesser role to stay in the NFL. If anything, I would hope that Tyron, stick around, just having that veteran presence in the offensive line room.
Well, then make him a coach. How about that? Say, why don't you retire and come coach the offensive line? I'd rather see that happen. Guy's a Hall of Famer. He's a great player.
Yep. Cowboys took him right before the Texans took J.J. Watt, who changed his hair up on Super Bowl Sunday thinking nobody would notice.
I thought he was pretty good on the desk.
He was.
He was good.
He was.
Yeah.
Did you notice?
He knew when to retire.
Well, injuries forced him to retire.
Thank you, Tyron. Take a page out of that.
Why do you want to get rid of Tyron Smith?
Because I don't want to see a great Tyron Smith. I don't want to see a great player be relegated to mere Hall of Famer. He's going to be walking around Radio Row in a few years with a gold jacket on, and we're going to be interviewing him.
We will.
That's what I want to see Tyron Smith. I don't want to see him backing up the other guy, Smith.
Tyler.
That guy.
Was the Super Bowl this past Sunday the most watched TV show ever? It's kind of crazy, the debate on this. We'll give you the full answer as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains, conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. They have on-site x-ray, casting, and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to an Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anytime. Down your app.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW Windows.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, it's just breaking this afternoon. ESPN and college football playoffs are in agreement on a 6-year, $7.8 billion rights extension. Must be pretty good money for ESPN. Way to go. And according to Mariah Medina of News 4 San Antonio, former Spur Bryn Forbes has been arrested on third-degree felony charge of assault, strangulation, and choking of a family member.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. It's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday?
Fat
what
Tuesday.
day is it?
Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. Fat Tuesday. Now, I'm asking this sincerely. Why do they call it Fat Tuesday? Anybody know?
Everybody's rolling their eyes and nobody has an explanation.
And nobody wants to look.
It's a night to go drinking.
Well, in New Orleans, it always is a night to go drinking.
Yeah, but it's a special night. I would imagine there are places around town having Fat Tuesday parties today.
See, Pledge is right on this, man. So Mardi Gras is French for Fat Tuesday.
Ah, there you go.
How about that? There you go.
We'll learn something new every day listening to
that?
this. And if
I'm
you already
telling
knew
you.
that, told you so.
We just reinforced it for you.
That's it. That's it.
Now, who knew? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
I probably knew that, but it's one of those things that you just don't.
I never
about.
knew that.
I didn't know today was Fat Tuesday until we started the show.
So Mardi Gras starts today.
Well, that makes sense.
Doesn't it? If Fat Tuesday is French for Mardi Gras or vice versa.
Now, tomorrow is also Valentine's Day.
It is. Yeah. What are you getting the missus? Nothing? You romantic devil, you.
I just realized tomorrow is Valentine's Day. What are you getting?
Well,
here we go.
I've done well.
Yeah.
We got a new bed.
Uh-huh.
And Maggie's got a nice new ring on her finger.
Really?
That she wanted. Yeah.
Oh.
The only thing was weird today.
Here we go.
I'm sitting here on my computer getting ready for work, and Maggie's working from home today. She comes out, kind of piddling around there in the kitchen, and did you make reservations for tomorrow night? And I looked up, I went, what?
Well, you guys are still newlyweds. You have to do that stuff.
Well, I guess, but I didn't. And luckily, I know someone that knows someone. So,
so you're able to get.
I'm off the hook.
You were able to get. Good luck getting a reservation tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. You're done. I mean, unless you want to eat at like 10 o'clock at night. It's tough.
Yeah, fancy fast food burger places, McDonald's. Go to the Golden Arches.
Yeah. It's kind of like getting your wife a vacuum cleaner for.
If that's what she asked for, but look, you take her to McDonald's. There's gold there. The Arches, they're gold. You can ball on a budget. It's Valentine's.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, it's amateur night.
I was like, I'm always one of those guys. Well, let's go out on Thursday or the day after Valentine's Day.
You could do it tonight.
Well, tonight, yeah.
I mean, it's Fat Tuesday.
Well, sure.
Go to a nice Cajun place.
Yeah, could do that. I wonder if Cajun places are full on Fat Tuesday.
I would imagine. Lots of drinking going on.
I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm still drying out, man, from Vegas. Whoa.
Liver needs a break, but it's Fat Tuesday. Well,
Yeah,
we'll break another time.
You can say that about every day. It's a day that ends with Y.
There we go. We're drinking.
Man.
That's what we're doing. So you got the new bed. Yesterday you were complaining that you had to put the thing together, huh?
I did.
And you were going to wait till the weekend, and I said there's no way your wife lets that bed stay not put together until the weekend.
No, so I get home.
Here we go.
And, we have dinner. And so we might as well do this. Let's get it done.
You suggested or she did?
No, I did.
Okay.
Actually, I said, let's do this. And so, you want to make sure that everything's up and set up right. And so we did.
And it works?
Well, it was just a bed frame, but the thing already worked. I mean, but the bed frame that the dude that, was supposed to deliver it a week ago said, it'll never fit.
Yeah. Fits just fine.
Yeah. Fits perfect.
Mm-hmm. Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
This is breaking news. ESPN agrees to a 6-year extension to televise college football's playoff through 2032. $7.8 billion rights fee extension. Now, you think about this. 7.8 billion. Players want more money. We have been talking to and about so many different people about the NIL and about pay for play in college football. If I'm a college football player and they haven't unionized yet. But when you see $7.8 billion on an extension, that's when they need to unionize, and that's where revenue sharing is going to come in. This has got to be the first step of that alliance, if you will, whatever the Big Ten and the SEC called it, because those players are going to need to get a piece of that to put the guardrails in place that we've been talking about for weeks.
Well, I have no problem with them getting something of that, but let's have some rules associated with it. Don't hold a school hostage because you want to get in the transfer portal and bargain. If we're going to do that, let's make college football just like the NFL. We have a salary cap. We have rules, regulations in place. The trade period is 1 period, not 2. And let's have some rules. I'm okay with that, but let's make sure there's rules. Right now, there are no rules, and it's just it's willy-nilly, and it's ridiculous.
Well, in all of that, true. But I do think, because anytime you negotiate, especially if you create a union, there's give and there's take. But when I see that billion, the idea of TV revenue share is going to be the answer for college football, because the universities say they can't afford to do it. And there are some universities that can. Some collectives are doing far better than others and all that kind of stuff. And we know that's true. But those are for a few of the schools, and then more and more and more. You got your middle schools and then your bottom feeders, and you wonder if their athletics are going to be able to survive. The only way they can is getting those players a piece of that TV money, which we've heard so many people talking about. And we were talking last week with a kid that played at Penn State that got hurt, never played in the NFL, and
made $35 a game or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you look at it and you sit there and you say, okay, he's the one that brought up, wait for these new TV contracts to come out, and then you're going to see a lot of people coming together saying, this is how we're going to be able to do this. I think that alliance that we heard about with the SEC and the Big Ten was step one, and those guys probably were in on negotiating this. So I'm guessing that a big part of that is going to be the revenue share that they're going to have with the players.
College football needs to be its own entity.
Yep.
Move it away from everything else. The schools still get a piece of whatever to make those other sports thrive. But college football is its own entity, and it should be. And we should treat it very similar to the way we treat the NFL. Do the same thing. Let players negotiate. Let them, be traded. Free agency. All of that kind of stuff. But I just don't see it working the way that it is right now. And you've got money like this, and you're right. A player's going to see it. If I was a player, I'd see that too, especially if I'm a good one. I say, hey, $7.8 billion.
Where's mine?
I want some of that.
Absolutely.
And so let's spread it out and make it, where it's wouldn't be equal, because it's just like the NFL. Different positions are going to get different pay. But do something like that. It's got to be. It can't work with the way the college football is now.
Now, of that, I'm not sure how they're dividing that pie as it is now. Obviously, that's an extension, so it's a total of 7. What are they getting per year? Is it basically $1 billion going and being split between how many universities or conferences? But even if you were to take, say, 25-30% of that, universities are still getting a good chunk of money. But if you take 25 or 30% and you divide that up amongst players, while it won't be massive money when you divide it by the amount of players out there, that's a great starting point.
Sure.
And then you add in what you're able to do from the collectives. But I'm with you. Salary cap, transfer portal rules, your commitment. It's a contract. Unless your coach leaves, you're at that university. You can't just decide, all right, I'm done.
I would take it even a step further. Look, in an NFL, coaches leave, and you're still bound by a contract. You sign a contract to play at Texas, and it's a 2-year contract. You have to honor that. I don't care if it's Steve Sarkisian coaching or Jason Minix.
The reality, though, is while we hear about scholarships as 4-year deals, they're not.
No.
Scholarships get renewed every year. So the university is only obligated to you as an athlete for 1 year.
Well, yeah, but if there's contracts involved, which I think there should be in this case, let's have contracts involved, and you honor that thing.
So the Super Bowl on Sunday, being touted by CBS as the most watched television program in history, 123 million people and change. But it was on CBS, Univision, and Nickelodeon. They combined that number. The top 10 most watched TV programs in history are all Super Bowls. MASH is in at number 11. MASH is the only one in the top 30 that isn't a Super Bowl because football rules. Well, that got announced yesterday, and I saw people losing their mind saying, well, that's not true. The Apollo 11 moon landing in 1969 had between 125 and 150 million people watching it. But that was on multiple networks, not just
all of them.
Not
all
just
three, I guess, at the time.
Yeah, not just one family of networks where you have that with Nickelodeon and whatnot. But also, according to those that make these rules, because the Apollo 11 moon landing, which garnered between 125 and 150 million viewers, is considered a news event, meaning that the CBS Nickelodeon telecast of the Super Bowl in 2024 holds the record for the largest average viewership of any live network broadcast. I guess they say a news event isn't the same as a TV show. Well, so that's the difference.
And I understand what they're saying. And of course, CBS is going to milk this for all it's worth.
Sure.
Right. And because ad revenue or whatever the case is, but that's going to last until next year's Super Bowl. And I don't know off the top of my head who has it. I'll find out. But
next year, I think it's Fox.
Is it Fox next year?
Because it rotates through. Something about Tom Brady doing a Super Bowl, being at the Super Bowl next year. I could be wrong, but I think it's Fox.
How about that? Well, they're going to set ratings records because that's the way it is. Now, look, and don't shoot the messenger here, but I firmly believe these record ratings, a lot of that had to do with one Taylor Swift. It did. I think it helped.
I saw, and again, there's no way of knowing, but Taylor's presence at the game averaged something like an additional 12 million viewers, female under 19.
Yeah, that may not be watching the Fox broadcast unless they're still dating and Kansas City's back in, which could very well happen.
As they go for a three-peat.
Yeah.
Because they're a dynasty.
See, we got to define that. And I heard Pledge, they're a dynasty, no question about it.
They are.
I heard him yesterday on the drive home.
They are.
I'm just not sure. I'm going to get the dynasty definition.
All right. Well, he does that. We'll talk some Spurs coming up. And what about the NFL coming to San Antonio? Vinny Vincetta from Ken's 5 did a great piece exploring the idea of the NFL coming to San Antonio. And I learned something today. And if I learned something, I like that. Henry Cisneros said in this piece something about the Raiders' flirtation with San Antonio that we had not heard before. I had not heard that. Vinny said he had not heard that.
Either.
You hadn't heard that. It's interesting. We'll talk about it coming up at 3:30 when Vin Dog joins us here on the Blitz. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, best way to do that, call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. You need parts? O'Reilly Auto Parts has parts. Need them fast? We've got fast. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1748. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1748. That's 800-575-1748. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Have you been to Kohl's lately? Because if not, you are seriously missing out. I just went and they have amazing clearance deals going on. I'm talking thousands of new markdowns added. So you can save up to 70% on everything from fleece sweats, cute sweaters, comfy PJs, and more. So take it from me. Run to Kohl's before you miss out. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe, I'm Jason.
That was Tony Pollard.
That was Tony Pollard.
Maybe he'll be playing for New England next year.
I doubt it.
No?
I doubt it. If you did grilling this week for the Super Bowl, and I'm sure you did, make sure you upload those photos. sasportstar.com. The Grilling with the Blitz page. If you texted me a photo, that doesn't count. If you tagged me on Facebook with your photos, that does not count. You have to upload it to sasportstar.com.
That's how you do it, so we can judge your meat. And we will do that on Thursday.
So I know we were going to talk Spurs here. Let's not. The Spurs at one time had a great dynasty.
They did. 20 years.
20 years.
That's a dynasty.
The New England Patriots had a dynasty.
Yes.
Also longer than a decade.
Uh-huh.
The Dallas Cowboys had a dynasty.
Did they?
They did.
They did?
They did. The Pittsburgh Steelers had a dynasty.
Okay.
The San Francisco 49ers had a dynasty.
Now, when you're talking dynasty, what period of time do you have to be a winning team to be a dynasty? And that's my question. I'm not arguing that Kansas City's not a dynasty per se.
It sounds like it.
But I want to know. So I look up the what is a sports dynasty meaning?
Okay.
And it's very objective
Well,
because
of course.
It says a dynasty is a team or individual that dominates their sport or league for an extended length of time.
Okay.
Well, then you got to define extended length of time.
All right.
So what do we consider an extended length of time?
Quite honestly, and it is subjective, right? But I look at what Kansas City is doing. They are in the middle of a dynasty. And a lot of people said, and I disagree with this because I consider the Spurs of having had a dynasty.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of people out there that say if you go back to back, that is a dynasty. I disagree with that because I think what the Spurs did is still dynasty worthy. Although there were some people, I mean, you heard it in two of the broadcast calls of the Super Bowl, back-to-back dynasty cemented because they went back-to-back. Nobody's ever won 3 Super Bowls in a row. Kansas City's got a chance at a three-peat.
They do.
You know, Michael Jordan did. But, you know, you look at a 5-year period, and I think that is in a sports world with injuries, free agency, short careers, blah, blah, blah. I think dominance over a 5-year period, by definition, is dynasty.
Okay, well, I was kind of thinking more of a decade. See, to me, a decade would be a dynasty.
A decade of dominance, but when you look at sports worlds and contracts, it's too hard to do over 10 years. You can only really give a couple of examples of teams that have dominated for an entire decade. You know, that half decade of dominance, I think, is where you define a dynasty. You know, an average player's career, and I don't even say an average player, a great player's career is about 10 years, right? Very few are dominant from day one until they retire. So I think the half decade, you know, if you're dominant over a 5-year period and you win a couple of championships, or if you go back to back, I think you get the dynasty label.
Well, see, I disagree with just back to back. You consider that a dynasty? I mean, so say you win back to back and that's all you do. That's 2 years. That's not a dynasty. A dynasty, the Spurs were in the playoffs for 20 straight years.
They were.
They won 5 championships in that 20-year period. That, to me, is a dynasty.
What do you guys think? How do you define a dynasty? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And I'll give you that. If you're a team that you just straight up win 2 championships and you kind of sucked before that and then you sucked after, why did you win those 2 titles? What happened that allowed you to do that? You know, I look at what the Houston Astros have done with Jose Altuve. That's a dynasty. The Texas Rangers have 1 championship. If they don't make the playoffs this year, or they don't repeat, or they don't, and then they're going back to, what they've been, then no, that wouldn't be a dynasty. That'd be a one-off title.
Right. But I think we're cheapening dynasty. That's what I think we're doing here.
Well,
we're cheapening dynasty.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that. I say that if you're a fan of the Chiefs, you're going to claim that as a dynasty.
Now, look,
as a Dallas Cowboy fan, what they were doing in the 90s, that was a dynasty. Same with San Francisco in the 90s. You go back to what the Pittsburgh Steelers did. But if you now say, okay, well, it has to be over 10 years, am I going to stop saying that the Cowboys had a dynasty in the 90s? Are you going to tell Emmitt Smith he wasn't a part of a dynasty? The answer to that is no. You're not going to do that.
I wish we'd have had this conversation before we went to the Super Bowl, because I would ask Emmitt Smith that. What is his definition? I'm serious. I would ask him that. I just think there's some things that you can't cheapen just because a team wins back to back. Now, Kansas City's different. All right, they are. And I will put them in that label at this point in time. But I'm just saying, say, I don't know, the LA Chargers, Jim Harbaugh comes up, wins the next 2 Super Bowls. Chargers are a dynasty?
Well, it depends on what they do after. I mean, I think over a 5-year period of dominance is what gets you in the dynasty talk.
So you're going 5 years.
I'm going 5 years.
I said 10. You said 5. Okay.
And I think 10 just because careers don't last that long. Contracts don't last that long. Keeping a group together for a long time, like the Spurs
Chiefs
were
didn't
able to do it.
The Chiefs didn't keep a team together.
Same head coach, same quarterback.
That's exactly right. So it's that. It's one player. Tom Brady the same way. I mean, they had different people all the time. They did. They didn't keep a team together. So,
well, no team stays together year after year, but there's some consistent key pieces that I think are a part of that. You know, the other thing that, you know, you talk about cheapening a word, GOAT. I mean,
absolutely,
there are 1,000 GOATs out there, right?
Yes.
I mean, you know, when you look at 2 GOATs right there. I mean, you know,
I totally agree with that. Everybody wants to crown Patrick Mahomes now as the greatest. He's the GOAT now. He's got a ways to go to become the GOAT.
Well, if you're counting rings, yes.
Yes. What else do you count? Why is Brady the GOAT? 7 rings.
7 rings.
Yeah.
But when you look at numbers at this point in his career, Mahomes is on pace to pass that.
Well, if he passes it, then guess what?
But
he becomes the GOAT.
But to say he's not a GOAT right now, I mean,
he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now by far.
So you put the GOAT emoji on it.
So he's the GOAT of today.
Yes.
Not the GOAT of all time.
Well, who is the GOAT of all time?
Tom Brady.
Well, why do you hate Joe Montana?
I love Joe Montana.
Well, I mean, but
you hate Joe Montana.
But I'm not a fan. I like Joe, but not necessarily. But when you look at, you know, if Tom Brady and Joe Montana are sitting there, you're going to say there's a couple of GOATs right there.
No, I'm going to say there's a GOAT in Joe Montana. That's what I'm going to say. We do cheapen GOAT. We cheapen dynasty. We do. And in my mind, we do. And I think there needs to be certain levels of when you label somebody or a team that, you can't just, because then you're going to have,
So is it too soon to call Wemby a GOAT?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I would say, yes, it is.
Why do you hate Wemby?
Well, you know, I'm just a hater. Listen, anybody that listens to this show, I'm a hater. That's what I do.
So NFL in San Antonio. I know you're rolling your eyes. I've rolled my eyes when I saw that promo during the Super Bowl on Ken's 5. You know, we're going to discuss, but in their process of putting together that package, Henry Cisneros said some things that I had not heard before. Vinny Vincetta is reporting it. We're talking to Vinny Vincetta about it next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
But first, we're talking about Parkhurst New Vision. Love talking about Parkhurst New Vision. First of all, the folks over there are fantastic. Second of all, they've completely changed my life. Had lens replacement surgery last summer, and I'm seeing better now than I did 30 years ago. In fact, my results were so good. My wife, Maggie, got her eyes done, and she is loving life when it comes to her sight right now as well. Look, they can do the same thing for you. You just got to take that first step. Call Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020. You can check them out online as well at sanantoniolasik.com. If you're tired of those readers and glasses, it's time to get rid of them. Do yourself a favor. When you call Parkhurst New Vision at 210-585-2020, set up a consultation. Go in, tell them your good friend Joe Reinagle from the Blitz sent you in. Then ask them your questions, your concerns, whatever you want to talk about. They'll talk to you about it, and you're going to feel great when you leave there ready to have your life changed. Let them do for you what they've done for my family. Parkhurst New Vision, 210-585-2020.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are going to try to stack some wins. Can Wemby get a double-double, triple-double?
And the Dallas Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer. Who is he? We'll ask a few friends to find out. And what are you pissed off about? We'll talk about it when we air those grievances. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
My daughter is normally a little goofball, but after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Do you want the most money for your used car and a hassle-free process? Give Me the VIN. We'll beat your written CarMax offer or write you a check for $100. It's that simple. Give Me the VIN is fast, easy, reliable, and pays top dollar for your car. It's that simple. Give Me the VIN is A+ rated by the BBB. Get an instant cash offer and the most money for your used car right now at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-1748. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-1748. That's 800-575-1748. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-721-9205 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-721-9205 right now. Don't wait. Call 800-721-9205. 800-721-9205.
This is Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm going to play the hell out of that thing? Why?
I mean, how much longer will we be able to use it?
Well, he doesn't say with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Tony Pollard with the Los Angeles Chargers. Or no, Kellen Moore's in Philadelphia. I'm Tony Pollard with the Philadelphia Eagles.
That's a possibility.
They don't need him. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, during the Super Bowl broadcast, you kept seeing these promos on Ken's 5. You know, the NFL coming to San Antonio. What will it take? Will it ever happen? You know, all those kind of things. Vinny Vincetta, working on that project, posted a clip from Henry Cisneros on Twitter that I had not seen before. I found it very interesting. This is what our former mayor told Ken's 5.
When we were talking to the Raiders about coming to San Antonio, here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to play games in San Antonio and maybe 2 a season in Mexico City and be the Mexico-Texas Raiders. that would have worked. But in the final analysis, they got too sweet a deal in Las Vegas with a stadium handed to them, brand new, state of the art, designed for their uses stadium.
Now, I find that interesting because I had not heard that before. Joe, you said you hadn't. Vinny tweeted he had not heard that. During that whole process, we had Red McCombs here on the Blitz, and he talked about, different places that there could be land that was owned by USAA between here and Austin, and that we had to get to the point of understanding that if an NFL team was to come to South Texas, it would probably be somewhere on that I-35 corridor because you wanted to be able to share from fan bases, but also corporate sponsorship dollars, and also where there's an easy flight from those from Monterey. Red McCombs never said anything about Mexico City. Let's talk about it more on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Vinny Vencetta from Ken's TV joining us now. Vinny, as you were working on that project, what else did you hear that you had not heard before?
Well, I heard lots, but first of all, I want to know, how does a guy get hair tips from Carrot Top? Or was Joe giving hair tips to Carrot Top?
No, he was asking. Joe was not only asking for hair tips, like how do you tie all that crap into your hair, but where did you get those pants? Those pants, by the way, Carrot Top was wearing, he said that those were $1,000 pair of pants.
No, he's getting ripped off, obviously.
No, listen, Henry thinks the NFL for a long time now has liked San Antonio, but he doesn't see that unless it's expansion, he doesn't see a path for San Antonio as a standalone city. What he does love is the idea of this sort of new Dallas-Fort Worth conglomerate, if you will, between Austin and San Antonio. He pointed out an interesting number to me. Right now, from Pflugerville to the north to Floresville to the south, we're a little more than 5 million. He believes in upwards of 2 decades, if not sooner, that we're going to be 8 million plus. So how can the NFL possibly continue to not least consider maybe a Central Texas franchise? But I think in the end, he also believes, as you guys know, and we all know, I think it's fact, it all goes back to Jerry Jones and the power of the Dallas Cowboys here.
Well, again, yeah, Vinny, I thought I taught you better than that. Jerry Jones, I don't think would stand in the way of that. The San Antonio Spurs will stand in the way of an NFL franchise here. Jerry Jones will not. Unless the Spurs are involved, they're not going to let anything happen here. That's just a fact, and we'll talk about that another day. But when you look at it, you would have to, and it makes perfect sense. And with the way that the NFL is courting Mexico, Brazil now, London, Germany, I mean, that makes perfect sense to have a team in South Texas and include Mexico in the deal. So I'm happy that Henry said that, Vinny, because Henry Cisneros, I mean, guy's been fantastic for San Antonio sports.
Listen, he shared a number of stories that really kind of caught me off guard. I mean, we all know that the Saints were pretty close to being signed, sealed, and delivered, but he said Paul Tagliabue, then commissioner, told him to his face, we would take such a negative hit from the image standpoint. We just can't do this. And the Bensons did agree and did the right thing. And the state of Louisiana put a lot of money into upgrading and remodeling the Superdome, which again was the right move. The Raiders story I hadn't heard. He mentioned over the years there have been small talks with Jacksonville, Tampa Bay, and even Buffalo, basically saying that every city at the time that had a franchise that was loose with either stadium issues or enthusiasm or fan support, he says that that's now all aside. And really in the current model, there is not one city in the current 32 that he can think of that would be up for moving, relocation. So in his mind, it has to be expansion. And he thinks first that it would be international. And here we are, being a South Texas city. Why wouldn't the Mexico City thing work?
You know, it is interesting to think as we visit with Vinny Vencetta from Ken's 5 about the possible future of the NFL in San Antonio or South Texas. I just wonder if San Antonio fans would be okay with a part-time team. You know, we get 6 home games as opposed to 8 or 9, depending on what the 17-game schedule. Hell, we're pissed that the Spurs are playing a couple of regular season games not in San Antonio, and they suck right now. So I don't know how well that would go over. And kind of looping back to something that you mentioned about Jerry Jones. And I know Jerry has said on this show before that he would love a team in San Antonio or South Texas. Now, he has said that because every team that has been rumored to come to South Texas is an AFC team. I know that when he was alive at the time, but also chairman of the finance committee, Bob McNair was against a team coming to San Antonio, AFC team, the way the TV markets work. And at the time, the way the NFL was set up, that all the AFC teams were on CBS. So that would have affected Houston as they were trying to grow into markets outside of Harris County. So I think the Texans would have more objection than the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry's not going to lose a fan. The Texans still don't own Harris County. They would lose fans if San Antonio were to get a team.
You know what Henry also shared was that Red was really serious about getting the Vikings down here. But then at the time, the state of Minnesota passed legislation that they would have fined Red $200 million to break the contract with Minneapolis and the state of Minnesota. And he said, well, that's not going to happen, obviously. So, yeah, that's an interesting argument, the AFC to NFC side. But after visiting with Henry, it just feels like that we're sort of that lost city. Like, so many things about it make sense, and whether it's the Austin San Antonio idea, but yet we're just going to continue to always be that leveraged city. It just feels like.
Well, and it's happened. I mean, it happened with the Florida Marlins when they were sniffing around, San Antonio. So we're a bridesmaid city. That's for sure, and that's what it's become. But look, please just know this: Jerry Jones would not be an impediment to this. The San Antonio Spurs would be an impediment. And I'm not sure if Henry brought up the Spurs at all in your conversation with him, Vinny, but I know that they were talking to Al Davis's kid, Mo, that they would have to have some sort of ownership in the Raiders. And that was an impediment to Davis.
Why would the Spurs put up such a roadblock? Wouldn't it be a win-win in the end? I know they're the hot ticket right now, but the NFL is a god. I mean, they're not going to put the Spurs out of business. I mean, surely they could find some happy ground. That's the part that just seems like San Antonio get past that.
Vinny, there's only so much money that HEB is going to spend, or Frost, or USAA, and all of them. And when it comes to suites, sponsorships, all of that money, it does feel like the Spurs. Have you noticed they own everything in town with the exception of the Missions?
Yeah.
The soccer, the hockey, when we had that, all of that, the talk of the MLS, there is a monopoly is not the right word to use, but it is the right word to use, that they would fight it, because I've heard the same thing when it comes to the Spurs, and what Joe said about the Raiders. I've heard from more than one that they wanted a piece of that action. Although when it came down to it, they just got a far better deal from Las Vegas, getting that stadium, which would be a harder push here. But at the same time, we've had opportunities. And again, we've got it on tape. But I mean, Red McCombs told us years ago that the Chargers would already be here if we had a different mayor at the time. And that mayor was more worried about getting a soccer team. And who knows how true or how close we were to getting the Chargers. The Saints story, we all know. The Raiders really did kick the tires here. That's probably the most legitimate team that in recent years that I think was a real possibility. But the Texans also were objecting at the time to the Raiders coming to San Antonio.
Don't the Spurs realize we would have had two teams with the same color scheme, silver and black? I mean, what kind of a win is that not?
Oh, my goodness. I'm glad that so just take me back. What made you decide to reach out to Henry and to do this story? Obviously, it tied in perfectly with the Super Bowl, Vinny, but what was your thought process?
It's just always been a very interesting topic to me. And I first reached out, this is interesting, to the mayor's office. And I had visited with Mayor Nierenberg a couple of years ago, and the response from his office was, there's nothing new to say. We'll decline this time. And I found that interesting. So then we went to Mr. Cisneros. I called his office, and his first comment was, I have a lot of thoughts about that. Let's talk. And I said, we'll be there whenever you're ready. So the population thing, again, to me, our growth and the way Austin and San Antonio are growing together, I love that, and that's hopeful. It's good to hear you guys clear me up that Jerry would have no roadblock. I guess the big question now is, will the Spurs ever be willing to play ball? No pun intended.
Well, if they get a piece of the action,
I mean, they would certainly do everything they could with their political power to try to keep it out. I truly believe that. Just the reality of it. Now, do things change when gambling in Texas, sports gambling in Texas becomes legal? That changes a lot. And I look at what Mark Cuban is doing in Dallas. They are making plans,
yes,
as if with who he has sold his team to and where they want to build and what they want to build. Last week on Radio Row, we were talking with Derek Stevens, who actually owns Circa, and he thinks Texas waiting is actually going to be a good thing when it does happen. Not if, but he said when it does happen, because Texas, we'll be able to see the states that have done it the right way versus the states that have not done it the right way. And he thinks Texas is going to do it the right way with the stuff that he's been hearing. And it's sooner rather than later.
Which brings up the question, Vinny, who'd you bet on in the Super Bowl?
I have to disclose that? Come on, man.
You must have been San Francisco then.
Okay, well, there you go. There you go.
Never bet against Patrick Mahomes. Doing time in Lubbock, you should know that, man.
Well, I was already in San Antonio by the time he showed up, but man, how magical was that guy? That was amazing to watch. Amazing to watch.
So, Vinny, kind of weird that the mayor would not want to do an interview on that. I find that interesting because, I think Mayor Ron likes talking sports.
So when we visited a couple of years ago, he said that he doesn't believe in the Jerry thing at all, and Jerry would never put up a roadblock, and he doesn't own the corridor in the way that he thinks he does, even though he does. But the mayor, he believes too, from our conversation a few years ago, that San Antonio is an NFL city.
Well, I know Ron Nuremberg has said that many times, and he wants major league sports products. I know we've got the UFL now, and we've had the Alliance, and we have had a good showing that we can support a team. But one of the bigger roadblocks, because you were talking with Henry, who in the late 80s, early 90s, if we build it, they will come, and the Alamo Dome is still sitting there waiting for that NFL team to show up. Which now, if we get one, and that's part of it too. We've got to get a team to build one. We're not going to do another one. If we build it, they will come. That taxpayers aren't going to do that a second time.
Well, they should.
He likes the idea of some big money in Austin now between Michael Dell and Elon Musk, and who knows how they feel about San Antonio. But he thinks there are more players now than there have ever been in this area to make something like that happen.
Let me just give Henry Cisneros a lot of credit, because I remember this whole that 0.5-cent sales tax. The Alamo Dome was paid off in a year.
Quick.
It was paid off in a year, and it was mostly tourists paying that thing off. There are creative ways to get it done. Vinny, I got to ask you, because I'm watching the Super Bowl and I'm seeing your promo, but I never saw you. I got to look at Henry and Easey's, plug your story that you worked your butt off on. I mean, don't you have any pull over there, Vinny?
So I asked the same questions, and they just looked at me and said, and I said, okay. I guess I need more hair tips from Carrot Top.
Reinagle's still bitter that the promos were all about Bill Taylor and not Joe Reinagle when he was over there. And they still are.
Do you still go to the grocery store, Joe, and people ask you how the weather is?
Yes. Yes. It happens all the time. If they don't ask me how the weather.
Is people.
Go ahead.
What's funny is people don't ask Taylor who's going to win the game.
Well, they do actually. He just won't admit it. Yeah. Bill Taylor, that guy.
We're on Radio Row. Hey, Bill Taylor.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Happens every day. Every day.
Well, you fight for your right to be on TV, Vinny. Don't let them hold you down.
What I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Vinny Vincetta, good stuff, man. Appreciate you jumping on and offering the insight. Good story.
Yeah, great piece, Vinny.
Yeah, you guys be well.
Appreciate it. Vinny Vincetta from Ken's 5 on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. And I know it's easy low-hanging fruit to bag on Jerry Jones.
It is.
I'm now, could Jerry be lying to us? I think Jerry has said on this show, every time we've brought it up, he would be all in favor. More NFL is better. Every team, though, that has been talked about was AFC. So he would be on Fox by himself. And, what I'm telling you about the Texans, I mean, Bob McNair said that. A lot of people, but we heard it from Bob,
Makes sense.
Chairman of the finance committee at the time, that's the most powerful committee. That's not going to happen. Now, the way the TV rules have changed, maybe. But I'm more concerned with, dude, we get a team, but it's part-time. I mean, it's like divorced kids, man. One weekend here, one weekend there. Our big home game this week, Patrick Mahomes is playing the San Antonio team, but they're going to do that in Mexico City.
Yeah, well.
I don't know as a local fan how much I would be excited about that.
Look, I just think that a stadium between San Antonio and Austin, where you get some of that, where it's a destination, it's not an everyday thing like an NBA game or a Major League Baseball game. It would be fantastic, and I think it would work, and I think people would love it. It's just a matter of it would almost have to be owned outside of San Antonio, because trust me, and Jason and everybody else that knows this, the Spurs, if it is in San Antonio, it does not benefit the Spurs unless they are involved.
And having a small piece, I'm sure, or the Michael Dells of the world, the different rich owners that they've added over the last couple of years. I mean, they could afford to get in on that. But
why do you think San Antonio Spurs are going to Austin?
Yeah,
there's that corporate money that's there, and they want in on it.
Well, and then I look at having a team, say New Braunfels, San Marcos, somewhere, not equal distance, but it's not an easy commute for somebody in Austin, just like it wouldn't be for San Antonio. And good Lord, finish I-35, which will never happen. but when I look at stadiums now, San Francisco, they play in Santa Clara.
Yes.
That is an hour away. I mean, so Phoenix, they're playing in Glendale.
The Patriots, we found that out.
The Patriots, that stadium is,
My goodness.
I mean, it's not unusual to have an hour drive to go watch an NFL team. The Cowboys play in Arlington, not Dallas. And, even though during the FIFA World Cup thing, it's going to be Dallas Stadium. And, the 18 people from Arlington were really upset by that. I mean, that's New York, New Jersey.
Yes.
The Giants and Jets play in New Jersey. So having a stadium distance, I'm more pissed, or the idea of a couple of games would be in Mexico City every year.
Yeah, that would be something we'd have to get over or deal with. Yeah, I wouldn't be excited about that either. But if it would get us a team in San Antonio or Austin or wherever or in between, you might think about it.
And I think most Cowboy fans would not drop their Cowboys allegiance.
Well, would you?
No.
Of course not.
No. And Jerry knows that. San Antonio would be my second team.
Yeah.
Although my friend Marcy Grace just texted me and said, as a tortured Cowboy fan who is too young to have experienced the glory days, I would happily get off the Cowboys bandwagon to fully support a San Antonio NFL team. I think she's full of crap. I think it's easy to say, but our great grandkids might not be Cowboy fans. They would grow up San Antonio, but kids, you're raising your kids right. They're Cowboy fans.
Look, the Cowboys are so ingrained in San Antonio. I just don't think that it would ever go away. I really don't, because people have passed that down. I mean, as long as I've been in sports in San Antonio, Cowboy fans, they pass it down, and they're Cowboy fans.
My kid lives in Phoenix.
Yes.
She's not going to buy Cardinal crap.
No.
She's not buying Suns crap.
Of course not.
She bought a Diamondbacks hat.
Diamondbacks?
And she liked how it looked.
Oh,
and she was going to a game. But I drew the line right there.
Yeah.
Well, she drew the line right there.
Uh-huh. Now you should draw the line and throw that thing in a fire pit.
I mean, she knows. She wants her rent paid. She ain't going to show up wearing some kind of crap like that. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Guys, let me tell you about Synergenics. If you have made a New Year's resolution to be more active, to get off the couch, but you can't because you don't have the energy or the motivation, maybe you're dealing with low libido, that could all be caused by low T levels. Your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. So if you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. So get to Synergenics. They exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment, and they make it quick and easy to go get your levels checked. With the convenience of their on-site lab at Synergenics, you get your results back at your first visit. And if you need the assistant, Synergenics, they're going to give you customized care from testosterone specialists. The important thing is to get your levels checked. Book an appointment now. Go to the website, fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, listen up, everybody, because I got a message for you that's going to change your dental game in about 60 seconds. I want to ask you a question. Are you fed up with the same old dental routine? You know what I'm talking about. The endless trips to the dentist, dealing with missing teeth, temporary fixes that never seem to stick. Well, I've got the answer for you. It is Doctor's Implants. At Doctor's Implants, their board-certified oral and facial surgeons are ready to transform your smile. You can say goodbye to the frustration of traditional dentistry and welcome a brighter future. Don't let old school dentistry hold you back any longer. Embrace your future with full mouth dental implants at Doctor's Implants. Look, you can check them out at doctorsimplants.com. And here's the kicker. When you call them at 210-640-0000, tell them I sent you, Joe Reinagle from the Blitz. You're going to get a complimentary consultation and a CT scan. Your journey to a perfect smile begins at Doctor's Implants. Why wait? Call them today, 210-640-0000.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get ready. This week, Staples has deals so good, you're going to want to sit down. Are you sitting? I'll wait. Great. Right now, during Staples Sit-a-thon, you can save up to $180 on select chairs. That's up to $180 off desk chairs, up to $180 off computer chairs, and up to $180 off gaming chairs. So hurry into Staples now for the Staples Sit-a-thon and grab a seat or 2. Ends 3/2. In-store only. See associate for details.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
When a cold comes on strong, try DayQuil's Severe Honey flavor. The daytime, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down. Get back to your day feeling relieved, enjoying the delicious flavor of DayQuil Severe Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey flavor soothes your symptoms with a delicious taste. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's good!
Your home for Major League Baseball. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Former Spurs player Bryn Forbes was arrested yesterday and accused of attacking a woman with whom he'd had a relationship. According to the arrest affidavit, Forbes came over to the victim's San Antonio apartment and punched her in the head. Well, the San Antonio Spurs got their first win of the rodeo road trip, snapping a 7-game losing streak, I should say. They will take on the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas tomorrow night.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Happy Fat Tuesday.
Happy Fat Tuesday. I like anything that starts with fat. That's perfect.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Go drinking tonight?
Gluttony going on there. I like it.
Gluttony?
Well, I mean, that just tells you it's Fat Tuesday. I'm going to go eat what I want, drink what I want. Fat Tuesday.
Or a day that ends in Y.
Oh, well, okay.
But it is Fat Tuesday.
It is.
Are you going to celebrate appropriately?
I don't know. I have no Fat Tuesday plans, to be totally honest with you. So I'm not sure. Probably not. But
go home and have a beer?
I'm going to relish it. Probably not. I'm still kind of drying out a little bit from our Las Vegas trip. But who knows? I might be in the mood for a nice cold beer or glass of wine.
Cold beer.
Yeah. I don't know.
And cold beer goes more with Fat Tuesday than a glass of wine.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I think Fat Tuesday or anything starting with fat, you could have anything you want.
Well, I mean, you
maybe
could.
A little whiskey.
But if you're
a vodka drink.
Well, I see.
Margarita.
Whiskey and vodka at the same time?
No.
Okay.
Separately.
On different nights?
Well, 30 years ago, I could do that. Now, no.
One right after the other?
No. Not happening.
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday.
Which actually is French for Mardi Gras, or the other way around. Mardi Gras is French.
Well, it's because tomorrow's Ash Wednesday.
Yes, it is.
So for a lot of people tonight will go drinking, and then tomorrow they'll give up alcohol for 40 days.
That's right. Lent begins.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. A lot of people did that already with dry January?
Yeah, I missed that one too.
Yeah, I missed that one. Now, if you're going to give something up for Lent, though, it should be something that's personal. Also, I'll have to decide. Alcohol probably won't be it, though.
It's too many drinking days over the next 40 days.
And I'm telling you, and the weekends are tough. I self-discipline's okay during the week.
Well, I'll give up broccoli for Lent.
See, that's not personal. If you give up broccoli, period.
Well, I try. I've tried to give up broccoli, but somehow it finds its way to my plate.
Well, because your wife is actually training. So you ought to support her and eat whatever the hell she wants you to eat.
No,
you really should.
No.
She's training for a marathon. And so
half marathon.
You should, whatever. So you should help her out, support her. Have some broccoli and chicken.
Actually, I think you're on to something, Reinagel.
Uh-huh.
To support her, I'll give her the broccoli that was meant for me so she can enjoy that.
You got to support her, man.
The hell would you write that on the page for?
What is it? What's it called?
Give up flight for Lent? Why would I do that?
I won't.
It would blasphemy. You're blaming Ryan for that? Whoever comments at SA Sports Star needs to put their name on there so we rip the right person. Or maybe not comment at all. It's not your show.
Well, no, that's fine. Now, look, LPJ Salazar. Now, see, this is the bad reputation that I have on our YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
Give up being a Cowboys and Spurs hater.
Well, that's impossible.
Well, I'm not a Cowboys or Spurs hater.
Yes, you are.
No,
Well,
I'm not.
Cowboys hater.
No,
You are a Cowboys hater.
I'm not a I'm a Cowboys truth teller.
No, you are. By definition, you are a hater.
Because why? I don't agree with the rest of you sheep that just go along with everything the Cowboys do and think it's the greatest.
I'm again right there, right? Nobody actually says that. Nobody follows that. I'm not sure what Pledge is saying there.
I'm saying no, you're a hater because when they lose and you come in here all giddy and laughing like Stephen A. Smith at them.
Well, I did giggle a lot during that Green Bay game, I have to say. And I don't know
I
if
cussed a lot during that game.
I was like,
then I might have cried a little.
Green Bay scored. It was funny.
All I know is San Francisco didn't win the Super Bowl.
So you're okay with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And in fact, I mean, there are a handful of teams that I hate, right? And sports hate.
Yeah.
Right? I don't wish ill will on anybody, but sports hate.
Okay.
And most of the teams I hate wear yellow pants, right?
Sure.
Pittsburgh, Green Bay, San Francisco's in there. They don't wear yellow pants.
They're
but,
gold.
But close. And look, San Francisco's been to the Super Bowl 3 times, but their last Super Bowl win is longer than the Cowboys' last Super Bowl win. And there was this new song that a friend of mine sent me the other day that James Pledger worked on, because I think every Cowboy fan probably feels the same way about San Francisco and them losing. It made you smile a little bit more for Kansas City.
The 49ers, yeah. The 49ers, yeah. The 49ers, y'all are sorry. Team backs. The 49ers, damn, I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. 49ers, y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty jams. Hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey. Super Bowl losing streak. Yeah. Hey. The 49ers, damn. I hate the 49ers. I hate that your team. Brock Purdy look like Jimmy Neutron, Fred Sheen. Team with Tom Brady got your quarterback from Sheen. Why I hate that team so much, where can I begin? Damn, George Kittle, bro, he look like Ben Franklin. Damn, Brock Purdy, bro, he look like Ronald Reagan. Damn, Deebo Samuel, bro, he look like the baby. Damn, the 49ers. I can't say it enough. Yeah, y'all thought y'all had this one, huh? Yeah, that was just a bluff. And I ain't trying to hear what you gotta say about my team. Wow. We both went home with the same amount of rings. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks.
Yeah, that's an earworm for you, isn't it?
That is.
You should hear the unedited version. Although you could figure it out.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Bleep the 49ers.
Yeah, well, that's a great sentiment, and they deserve it. They lost. They had that game, and it was snatched from them by number 15.
Because Kyle Shanahan said, yeah, we'll give you the ball last, Patrick.
Yeah, that's it. It's all Shanahan's fault. Are you kidding me?
I can't believe you're defending the guy.
I defend the guy because I like the aggression. They drove the ball down the field. Credit Kansas City's defense for getting a stop. And, yeah. And if you score there, you're in great shape.
And if Mike McCarthy would have done that, you would be blasting his ass.
Never.
Oh.
Never. If you be aggressive. You're there to win the game. You're not there to, we got to see what we need to do now. Patrick Mahomes has scored. Oh, now we need to see what we're going to do. Go score. Put the pressure on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he can handle it.
That's what they were trying to do.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes with the ball last is a bad thing.
Well, he didn't have the ball last. If you score a touchdown, the worst that can happen is he ties the game.
Unless they go for 2, which is what they said they were going to do.
Okay, well, no chance that they're going to make that. You make them make that decision.
Did you say no chance that they would make that?
I said there's.
You said no chance that they make that.
There might not have been a chance that they might not have made that. It's possible they don't make it.
Uh-huh.
I like the aggression. I wish he'd have gone for it. I mean, if you're going to go all in, go all in. Go for it on 4th down there at the 5-yard line. You got George Kittle. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got a big old Deebo Samuels. I mean, come on. You even got that, what's his name, Jerusik? How do you say that guy's name? The fullback. I love that guy, and he made a hell of a catch.
He did not catch that.
He damn sure
Dez
did.
caught it. Dez caught it there.
Oh, my gosh. He made a hell of a catch.
Where's Dean Blandino when you need him?
Jeez.
Boy, that guy got pissed off when I brought that up, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a little upset, yeah.
Kyle Juszczyk.
Juszczyk.
His wife has really cashed in on the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Good for
or
her.
the playoff run.
Good for her.
Thanks to Kyle.
Huh?
You haven't heard that, like, why she blew up?
Yes, I just said that.
But it was Kyle. Like, he went in and on Twitter all day just correcting people.
No bleep, dude. I mean, but she blew up during the Super Bowl with her fashion, getting an NFL licensing deal like that, which never happened.
That's a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works.
He made a hell of a catch.
It was not a catch.
Dude, it was a catch. I remember specifically. He made a hell of a catch. For a big dude that doesn't get to do anything.
If that was a catch, Dez caught it.
We could debate that. Dez caught it.
Dez caught it.
But it wasn't ruled that way.
3 years later, Dean Blandino finally corrected himself.
Well, that's fine.
And they
And a
changed
lot
it.
of good that does for the Cowboys.
Exactly, because Cowboys won a Super Bowl that year.
Of course they would have. Just like the Oilers would have won a Super Bowl had they not pooped the bed against the Buffalo Bills. They would have beaten the Cowboys that year. I'm convinced of it.
Bruce Smith didn't want to talk about that either
Well,
on Radio
because he
Row.
got his butt kicked by the Cowboys.
Yeah, he did.
All these hypotheticals. I admire you, Shanahan. Kyle, you go, buddy. Do it again.
Lose another Super Bowl?
Well, he might.
That guy. Think about that. That guy has blown a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. And
he didn't blow anything.
And
that was Dan Quinn's defense that blew that game.
Well, his offense. I mean, he
put up 28 points, didn't they?
Yes. And then what happened?
Then Dan Quinn's defense looked just like the Dan Quinn's defense against Green Bay.
And Kyle Shanahan's offense did what? Nothing.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm thinking, let's see. If I go into halftime with a 28-3 lead, I'm thinking, hey, fellas,
run the ball.
All you got to do is stop these guys.
Or run the ball, which he didn't do. He didn't do it in Miami.
Fault.
He didn't do it there. Why do you defend
well, let's talk, because it's I'm just being fair to the guy.
You're being fair.
Of course. It's Dan Quinn's
So
defense.
of all the people you decide, I'm finally going to be fair to somebody, it's Kyle Shanahan. The hell is wrong with
Dan
you?
Quinn blew that game. You can't say it's Shanahan.
Okay.
Dan Quinn.
So all
historic defense, Dan Quinn, remember?
Could be. All the crap that you gave Lil Kellamore, not his fault?
Little Kellen? Well, yeah, did he build a big lead and then blow it? Or did Dan Quinn blow that one too?
The president of the Kyle Shanahan fan club, Mr. Joe Reinagel.
I can't.
49er fans?
Yeah.
See Marshawn Lynch rolling through a casino. You play the whole thing. I mean, is there anybody out there that can go to a fan base after they lose a Super Bowl and just go, F you to all these fans and have them smile back? Marshawn Lynch did.
You little ugly motherfucker. You a Niner fan?
Yes, sir.
You? Are you a 49er fan?
Yes, I am.
You?
Hey, Marshawn. Go Bills.
Are you a 49er fan?
Absolutely.
You? Are you a 49er fan? You?
For kids in the car in the pickup school line.
I know,
this has
right?
been one hell of a segment.
This is great. Wow. Well, Pledge did a great job bleeping that out. Had a lot of work to do.
Well, when I sent him that audio, he gave me a lot of those too.
Yeah.
It put that bleep machine to work. It worked
Absolutely.
overtime today. I just hope he caught them all.
You?
Yeah.
Hey, you a 49er fan? You?
Oh, my goodness. Mike Zimmer's staff. Well, the Cowboys have lost another off of that defensive staff, one going to Washington with old Dan Quinn. We'll tell you about that. And Are some players maybe in danger now with Mike Zimmer coming in as the defensive coordinator? Let's dive into that next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you are having issues at your house with your plumbing, your heater, your AC, you know there is one company to call, and it's Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC at 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission. Sales reps, they'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And at Quartermoon, they are green certified. Call them 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
No amount of money can make up for a life-changing injury. I'm George Salinas, and at George Salinas Injury Lawyers, our team of attorneys will fight to get you the maximum compensation because we prepare and we care. So if you've been injured in an accident, get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
Over the past decade, the Root Pub has proved watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Root Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Root Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo. Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Yeah, I caught my first fish, Dad.
Great job, buddy. He's a beauty.
Thanks for taking me fishing. Love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive, and you could use the savings to make sure the boat's always ready for those magical father-son moments. Who knows, maybe someday he'll actually like fishing. So keep the dream alive and the savings coming with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99, only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H-test versus API SP test limits.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax.
Touchdown!
a new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you the front of the line. We're going to hike the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jay Semenix. Friday, we'll be live out at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road.
Looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Friday out the Rue. And then we got the Rising Stars Challenge that night.
Uh-huh.
Be good times.
Wemby playing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jeremy.
How much do you think Wemby plays?
Wembenyama!
29 minutes.
You think so?
No.
No.
He won't go over 30.
With Jeremy, huh?
You know, the Jeremy played really well last night.
Yeah, he did.
I got an idea on Jeremy. We'll get into that coming up. I know we said we were going to talk some Cowboys. I'm proud of Jeremy. I'm going to compliment him.
You're proud of it?
Mm-hmm. I'll explain coming up.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sharif Floyd is leaving the Cowboys defensive line coach. He's going to go to the Commanders with Dan Quinn. So Dirty's already gone to Seattle. So whole new defensive line room coach.
Yeah, I mean, and RJ Ochoa tweeted he was really upset when he saw this. He was blasting Dan Quinn for not having original ideas, stealing everybody from the Cowboys. But obviously, Cowboys have control of that. They've already blocked 2 of them that Dan Quinn wanted to take.
Yeah, I mean, coordinator leaves and that's his staff. I mean, there's no surprise. And Zimmer coming in is going to want his own people. So I mean, Mort's going to be salty just because he's Mort. Get upset about all kinds of stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and most of us have no idea the importance of those position coaches. Most of us have no idea who they are unless it's some famous ex-player, right?
Right.
Now, when you see, I don't know, a change in the offense. Remember when Mark Colombo, retired and he's going to be an offensive line coach, and then they got rid of him. They were changing things up, and the offensive line was confused. They didn't know what their left foot was doing with the right foot.
Yeah.
And then they, all right. But in the day-to-day, I mean, honestly, most people listening right now, I'm going to guess, had no idea Sharif Floyd was on the staff.
No.
Or if they did, they have no idea what he did or what kind of impact he had on this Cowboys team. And that includes Mort. We have no idea. You think he's good, and that defense was. I just, we get all upset about assistants that you don't even know.
Well, Ian Rappaport, who broke this, I guess, or is sharing it with everybody, said that he's a rising star in Dan Quinn's system.
He is.
So there you go. So Dan Quinn thinks a lot of him, but I'm with you. I don't know why this is such a surprise to anybody or why anybody would get upset with it. These are Dan Quinn's guys, most of them, and he's just taking them with him.
I don't know about other industries because outside of the military, I've been in the radio business, but you're in the news business. You get a news director that comes from a city, and all of a sudden you got 3 people that used to work for him in another city there. Program drive. I mean, you work with who you know and who you think you're going to be successful with.
Yeah.
So for Dan Quinn to hire off of his staff, I would be more concerned if Dan Quinn wasn't requesting interviews with these guys, because my guess is if he didn't request an interview with you in Washington, now that he's the head coach there, he probably didn't think much of you in Dallas, and you were probably going to get fired.
He didn't like you at all. But look, you're right. Zimmer's going to come in. He's going to want his own people in there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And who does he steal from? Does he still have some people with the Vikings? I'm sure they're all over the place. But
these guys have friends all over the league, man.
Sure.
It is such a fraternity.
I just it's going to be interesting to see what Quinn can do in Washington. I mean, he did a good job in Atlanta until he didn't. And then so it'll be interesting to see. I think they're going to give him everything that he wants to start with. And I think for me, if I was a head coach, that's a perfect job. New owners, they're hungry to win. They're going to give you whatever you want, whatever you tell them that you need. And so, I think Dan Quinn's in a good spot, at least for 2-3 years anyway, and he better produce.
He's going to have to figure out who their quarterback is going to be. That's step one. And, build that defense. We'll see him twice a year. And it will be interesting. And I'll go back to something that Michael Lombardi told us last week on Radio Row. Dan Quinn is like a 2-pitch pitcher.
Yep.
And if you figure out the fastball, you can get hits. And the teams that figured out Dan Quinn were able to do that last year. And it's one of the more negative things that we have heard about Dan Quinn since he's been in Dallas. But as soon as Michael Lombardi made that comparison, he was so spot on, because the teams that really took it to Dallas, they did it the exact same way. Now, granted, they had the personnel to be able to do it, but those teams that beat Dallas or even like a Seattle team, they didn't win the game because the Cowboys offense was able to keep pace. But those that did damage to that Cowboys defense did it the same way, and they did it with a game plan specific to Dallas, because not necessarily, well, this is what we do, so we're going to run our offense against their defense. They game planned and beat Dallas at their game.
They did. And unless the Cowboys were playing tomato cans, which they did quite often, according to Brian Baldinger this season.
They did.
They looked pretty good against those guys. It was the better teams that took advantage of that. So it's interesting. John Machota just tweeted out right now, Cowboys are having a press conference tomorrow at 2:00. Mike McCarthy is going to introduce Mike Zimmer as the team's new defensive coordinator.
So you look at that. There's an article out of Dallas naming 6 players who could be in jeopardy based on the system and styles that Mike Zimmer was running in Minnesota. Guys that might not fit the Mike Zimmer puzzle piece. And, a Chauncey Golston on that list to go, okay, well, Chauncey Golston. But DeMarvion Overshown, who never got an opportunity this year in his rookie year after getting hurt in training camp. I'm a little surprised to see his name on the list. But then you also add in a Trayvon Diggs and a Deron Bland. Because
Trayvon,
you're going to see more man coverage. Now, I think Trayvon is safe this year just because his contract makes it damn near impossible with cap hits and the other to get out of it this year, but something to look forward and see. And then Sam Williams on the list and Mozzie Smith on the list. So you've got, of those 6 players, 4 are core players for this Cowboys defense. Diggs would have been if he didn't get hurt. So, but you look at Mozzie Smith, a developmental guy, it'll be interesting to see. There's no attachment for Mike Zimmer to that guy.
No, there's not.
But he's on a rookie deal.
Yeah, and you can't axe a guy after 1 year. I mean, this guy needs a little help. Now, Sam Williams, somebody needs to pry his head out from his behind. Maybe that will help him play better. He can actually see instead of making stupid mistakes like he did. But Sam Williams came in high, right? I mean, they were high on him. Same thing with Overshown. And he was playing pretty well until he got hurt. So it's going to be interesting to see what Zimmer does and what changes he makes and where he moves those pieces around to.
What I'm curious of is, because, you've seen lots of articles since the news broke that Mike Zimmer was the guy.
Yeah.
Even when Rex Ryan thought he wasn't the guy. From a Darren Woodson to a Harrison Smith, we were talking to Andrew Sendejo last week on Radio Row. Hard-nosed coach, that's not going to change. Plays more man than Dan Quinn. Personnel maybe will change that. I'm more curious, how much does Mike Zimmer adopt his philosophies to the personnel that the Cowboys have, or who they might target in free agency, or quite frankly, who now they might target in the upcoming draft.
I think he's got some pieces to work with that can be used a little bit different than Dan Quinn used them. And I'm specifically talking about Micah Parsons. I want to see what Mike Zimmer does with Parsons. Does he just leave him as an edge rusher? I don't think so. I think he's going to move the guy around and get some more options out of what he's got with Micah Parsons.
And apparently, according to Micah, there was lots of plans for that.
Apparently.
Just Dan Quinn never called him.
Yeah, but Micah played great against Green Bay.
He did.
If you don't believe me, just ask him.
Yes, that's what he said. That's what he said. So the press conference tomorrow at 2:00 to officially introduce Mike Zimmer. I'd like to say we're going to carry that live, or we're going to try to carry that live.
As long as they're carrying it live, we will.
All right. So, and I mean,
absolutely,
we'll run the traps, but I would anticipate the first part of our show tomorrow is what Mike has to say introducing Mike, and then what the other Mike has to say about having a new job. And
Mike and Mike,
Mike and Mike, Mike and Mike, and the man, missed that show.
I do too. It was a good one.
I did see Golick in Las Vegas. I never saw Greeny.
Dude, Golick looks like a skeleton.
Dude, have you not seen him lately?
Well, I saw him at the Super Bowl last year, but he looks like he's even lost more weight. That dude is skinny as hell.
Yeah.
He is.
You know, it's crazy when you think some of the offensive linemen.
Yeah.
That once they're done playing, they're able to lose weight. Ross Tucker.
Yeah, Ross Tucker.
I mean, go look at Ross Tucker when he played in the NFL, and look at Ross Tucker now and say, dude, you were an offensive lineman?
Yeah.
Well,
in the NFL, they don't want you to be skinny.
No.
You got to be a big fat guy.
No. And the way Tucker eats and drinks, I'm surprised he's able to maintain that thinness.
Physique?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd define it as physique.
Physique.
I mean, I don't know that Ross Tucker's going to the beach without a shirt. You know what I mean? He's not there yet.
Either that or he doesn't care. It's kind of like me.
He's Ross Tucker. He
doesn't
give a
damn what you think of me at the beach.
He's coming to San Antonio in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
For an event,
a bar mitzvah. He
said.
Uh-huh.
So we've got to get together, and he said, "I need to go drink some beer and eat some barbecue."
Yeah,
I think we're going to take him to Pinkerton's.
There you go. Perfect.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Well, and when he's here, you got to take him to the Big Blind.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We need to do that. He would enjoy the Big Blind because it's a schwanky place. In fact, it is the premier poker room in San Antonio. Look, I've been to many of them, and there's nothing that can hold a candle to the Big Blind. They're open. It's right down from the Rue Pub, and right now they got a heck of a deal coming on. They're calling it Morning Glory, Monday through Thursday. This week, they've got $1,000 Texas free roll. Starts at 10:15 in the morning, goes till 8:15 at night. You got time to get down there. I would make a point to do that right now. Morning Glory, $1,000 Texas free roll from 10:15 in the morning till 8:15 at night, today through Thursday. Get on down to the Big Blind. If you haven't been there, why not? It is, again, the premier place. Not to mention the fact that it's from the owners of the Rue Pub and the Angry Elephant. The Big Blind will offer food and beverage served directly to your table, a full bar, and of course, you're not going to miss any game. They've got TVs all over the place. The Big Blind is at 281 and Redland Road. Get down there, have some fun. It's a great place. The Big Blind, 281 and Redland Road.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob and RJ.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, the Spurs are going to try to stack some wins. Can Wemby get a double-double, triple-double?
And the Dallas Cowboys hired Mike Zimmer. Who is he? We'll ask a few friends to find out. And what are you pissed off about? We'll talk about it when we air those grievances. We start at 6. We'll see you there.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This February, every plate is sharing the love with $1 steaks every week and meals starting at only $1.49.
$4.49. You do a lot, so let Every Plate take care of the meal planning and the groceries. You'll get fresh ingredients and foolproof recipes delivered right to your door. Plus, get 10 ounces of juicy ranch steak for just $1 in your weekly box. Get started with code DCS49 at everyplate.com. That's 2 $1 steaks per week for new subscribers while active. Everyplate.com, code DCS49.
I wish I could get this stupid jar open. Jars can be tough, am I right?
Who are you? And how'd you get in my kitchen?
It's me, Flo, and I'm here to grant your wish of easily switching to Progressive and helping you get a discount that honors the time spent with your previous insurer.
Great, but what does that have to do with getting this jar open?
Nothing.
So you can't open this?
Oh, I just do insurance. Jars, I leave to the professionals.
Sign up for Progressive and opt into more savings. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
I wish I could get this stupid jar open. Jars can be tough, am I right?
Who are you? And how'd you get in my kitchen?
It's me, Flo, and I'm here to grant your wish of easily switching to Progressive and helping you get a discount that honors the time spent with your previous insurer.
Great, but what does that have to do with getting this jar open?
Nothing.
So you can't open this?
Oh, I just do insurance. Jars, I leave to the professionals.
Sign up for Progressive and opt into more savings. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi, it's Jason Minix from the Blitz. Guys, Synergenics can help conquer your New Year's resolutions. Do you have lack of energy, motivation, and possibly low libido? These could be caused by low T levels. At Synergenics, they exclusively specialize in testosterone treatment and make it quick and easy to get your levels checked. And at Synergenics, you will get your results back at your first visit. To book your appointment, go to fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, we're breaking down everything that Mike Zimmer offers to the Dallas Cowboys. And I got to say, I've been home for a few days now, not sharing a bathroom with Joe Reinagel. Joe, how many lotions do you need?
The music was so loud I couldn't hear
what he
old
said.
Salty was trying to say to you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what he said.
How many something do you need?
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing like a joke falling on deaf ears.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there was music loud.
He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. The Blitz Friday, we're going to be live out at the Rue Pub, 281 and Redland Road. Going to be a great time out at the Rue. If you've done grilling over the last couple of days, make sure you upload those grilling photos to sasportstar.com, the Grilling with the Blitz page. We do know Mike Zimmer press conference tomorrow at 2:00. We'll do our best to carry most of it, if not all of it, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're out early today because of Aggie basketball, so Shireen Williams will join us at 5:00 in 20 minutes from right now. We'll get her thoughts now that this is official. But on the Spurs, watching the game last night, and quite honestly, and granted, I didn't watch any Spurs basketball while we were in Las Vegas.
Well, they didn't have it on.
Well, there's that.
I'm just saying.
I mean, there is that, but we didn't see any of their games. So we know they lost a bunch. They didn't win while we were on the road.
No, they didn't.
That was
They
a
did
favor
not.
to us. But watching the Spurs play last night, and granted, an incredible win for the Spurs where
Yes.
everybody played well.
Yep.
Great. Devin Vassell made one of the more incredible passes. Wemby's reaction, I don't know because of the pass or the fact that it was pass.
Yes.
But Jeremy Sohan played great last night. And
defensively, especially.
Yeah, but as much as I hated the idea of him playing point guard, and that was a failed experiment, is Jeremy Sohan a better player because of that experience? Because over the last month and a half, I feel like Jeremy is playing at a different level. Yesterday we were talking about where were you seeing improvements, but I feel like Jeremy is playing better basketball, and I wonder if it's just having an opportunity to drive the car, if you will. Is he looking at things completely different than he did before and playing smarter basketball than he was, say, before the calendar turned to 24?
I would like to see Jeremy Sohan assume the role of a Bruce Bowen. I see a Jeremy Sohan as a Bruce Bowen type of player. Good defense. He's going to bug the hell out of you, and he's going to he's going to score from time to time. That's where I see Jeremy Sohan. I know people thought when they drafted him that he was going to be this big offensive juggernaut, and I just don't know that that's going to be Jeremy Sohan. I would like him to see him assume that role, a Bruce Bowen type player. And I think he would fit that mold perfectly.
And last night, obviously, watching that game, and that was a fun game to watch. He was 7 of 12. He had 16 points. He was able to get some rebounds. And you mentioned it. Defensively, he's been fantastic.
Well, I was really proud of him tonight. He took on the challenge. Scotty's a hell of a player, and I thought he did a wonderful job on him, for the entire game. So, Jeremy's capable of doing that. And I think he's taken great pride in it.
And he did. He played really well. And that's why I say I think he could really develop into that kind of a player. And obviously Bruce Bowen was very successful in his San Antonio Spurs uniform.
Well, and look, I mean, he was on Scotty Barnes last night, who was 3 of 15, finished with 7 points.
Right.
And you go back to the Bruce Bowen defensive effect, going against, say, Kobe. Kobe scores 30 points on 5 for whatever shooting. Bruce had a great game. Kobe scored 30 points on, 5 of 8 shooting. You realize he got torched. You know what I mean? There's that combination when you look at not necessarily total points for some players, but how well did they shoot the ball. Scotty Barnes, 3 of 15 last night, and a big part of that was the defense you were seeing from Jeremy. But on both ends, a great two-way player last night. And I just wonder, as much as we all hated the point guard experiment, is that made him a better overall basketball player?
I mean, that's hard to say. You could make an argument, I think, for that if you wanted to. I thought it was to his detriment at first, and maybe he's coming out of it on the other side. But I think it hurt him at first when playing because he was confused. He didn't really know what to do or how to do it. And then when he came out of that, I still think he was still in that funk, that fog, if you will. And now maybe he's coming out of that thing. But I thought it was a detriment to the guy, quite frankly. That whole experiment just seemed to really, hold him back, I thought.
During it, I thought, none of us knew what the hell Pop was thinking. I mean, even Sean Elliott came on this show and said, Hank Egan said at one point, only God creates point guards.
That's exactly right.
You had Pop trying to do it. But I just wonder, watching him come out of that, playing a more natural position for him, has it made him a better overall basketball player?
It could be, but maybe that's just where he should be.
Yeah.
And that's where he's comfortable.
Even like last year, he wasn't playing at this level. And so I wonder if, because I haven't been mad at Jeremy in a long time. You're always trying to figure stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Throw spaghetti on the wall. And
I just want to see some consistency. I really do. You win this game, I don't want to see them now lose 7 straight. Let's see some consistency. They looked great last night. I fell for it again, though. When they beat Minnesota, I'm thinking, man, it was a great game.
They turned the page,
and then they lost 7 straight.
Well, it's because they're tired.
That's
No.
it. They must have rested in Toronto.
Wemby last night was just incredible, right?
Yes,
So
he was.
when you look at it, and granted, I mean, the 10 blocks, the triple double with the 10 blocks, and then the very few people in the history of the NBA that has been able to do that.
I believe he's the first rookie to do that.
First rookie to do that. Just all of Wemby last night, the scoring and in 29 minutes, which is even more impressive.
Yes.
That he did it in such a short amount of time. But seeing blocks like that, I mean, the intimidation factor for players coming into the paint. I mean, he was just playing on another level. Might have clinched Rookie of the Year last night with that performance alone.
Yeah, he probably did anyway, but that certainly solidified it. I just think that teams are going to have to figure out a way, because you can't just willy-nilly drive into the paint anymore and try to score on Wemby. He's just too damn tall. And I don't think 10 blocks in games are going to be unusual for this kid. I think that's going to be more of the we're going to get tired of it, take it for granted. 10 blocks, that's all? Come on. I mean, this guy, that's what he does. That's what he's going to be very good at. So.
It's going to be interesting to see. They've got the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow night before they head into the All-Star break. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, doing things a little different today because we're out early at 5:30 for Aggie basketball. So let's do our injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at tsaog.com. Dr. Casey Tabor joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Doc, you look at, we're all watching the Super Bowl, and we all saw the video of Dre Greenlaw just running out on the field and falling down, tore his Achilles. Can it, I mean, just like that, the Achilles was gone. When you were watching the game, was that your first thought? Yep, there goes his Achilles.
I thought Achilles or ACL, just because those are your two non-contact injuries that a lot of times you'll see. Man, that's tough to see a guy go down like that. You wouldn't think that something that simple, but those guys are no different than like a racehorse. If you think about, that there's so much power and explosion, and sometimes you could see him, if you watch him before that, he's jumping up and down ready to go, and he explodes off, and then non-contact ruptures his Achilles, and just a really tough break for him, and hated to see that.
Now, Doc, when you're looking at that, was that something, was it perhaps tearing already? Was it, or was it just a freak thing?
I think I don't know. It could have had some, he's not that old. Sometimes you'll have people have degenerative changes in there, but at his age, it's unlikely that he had a whole lot of degeneration or pre-existing tearing. I think it's just a freak accident with an explosive move. When he pushed off, as soon as he pushed off, it pulled off.
Wow.
It's amazing to think it could go like that. Because it didn't even look like he was really exploding. I mean, all right, let's go. And off he went, and then down he went. But my first thought was a calf, or, sometimes you get a Charlie horse and you roll around on your living room floor while that thing is going on. But his Achilles is just completely gone. And the fact that it happened on grass, if it were artificial turf, would there be the argument about turf? But it happened on natural grass. So I guess no argument there. I mean, sometimes, man, when it's time, it's time.
I mean, obviously with natural grass, there tends to be a little more give, right? And that's always a complaint with people that say there's extra injuries or more frequent injuries with turf, which I think they do. Most of the studies show that you do have more ACL injuries and ligamentous injuries and things like that. But I mean, that doesn't mean you can't have an injury on grass. And obviously it showed up on Sunday.
That was crazy. And it was bad for him, bad for San Francisco for sure when that happened. It untimely injury. Let me switch sports, Doc, if I can. Shohei Ohtani took batting practice. Of course, he had elbow surgery, but the guy goes out and he hits 10 home runs in 21 swings. I guess that elbow surgery was a success.
I don't think we know. I don't think you can say that, because it's the elbow, where he's stressing that elbow doesn't come a whole lot into play when you're hitting and batting as much as it does as throwing. So that's where you're really going to see if it's successful or not. I think even if he didn't have surgery, if I remember correctly, didn't he tear it and then still play
Yep.
through the end of the season, and he just didn't pitch because it just doesn't play a big role in your hitting. And so great that he's back out there. He's already got his eye-hand coordination back, and he's still got his power. But I don't think you can call it a success until you see how he does throwing the ball.
And so this year for the Dodgers, if he's playing not pitching, but still playing either hitting or playing in the outfield, he could still do that. But if we see him pitching again, then we'll really know that he is superhuman.
That is correct. And I don't think you'll see him playing in the outfield either because it takes a lot of stress to throw from the outfield. So I would guess he pitch hits this year or he plays first base.
Or DH, right? I mean, he could play a lot of DH.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. DH or first base. Those are his two options.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just nuts though to see a guy that's coming off elbow surgery like that. I mean, it looked like there was nothing wrong with him. So I appreciate the explanation because I would have thought, just looking at that, hey, he's good.
Well, it's just amazing how fast these guys come back to the rehabs that guys have. Their bodies are just different than a lot of other human beings, honestly.
No, they are. And then you get guys that have been doing it a long time, like LeBron James, although he's been dealing with some injuries lately. And I think the Lakers are just making some stuff up now. Explain to me what a left ankle peroneal tendinopathy is.
So tendinopathy, that means the tendon itself, opathy means there's inflammation and usually a little bit of degeneration in it. So a lot of times that's from the fact that he's 38 and not 18 anymore. And then the peroneal tendon is the one that runs across the inner portion of the ankle, and it's part of a big stabilizer when you're jumping. So it's something we'll see in, the peroneal tendon's on the outer part of the ankle, and it's something that is partly your balance when you're jumping or coming down from a jump. So it is something we see in basketball players, not something made up, but it's usually just inflammation. Typically they'll do rest, anti-inflammatories, ice, bracing can help that. And then sometimes they'll do a steroid shot if it gets bad enough.
So a real injury, not like when we were making things up for Tim Duncan, give him rest because he's old.
No, I mean, I don't know if it's a real injury, but there is something to it. I mean, it's an old man injury, so he's on that upper end of the scale of the age playing against him at this point, and so that's usually there's some degeneration within that tendon, and
so like LeBron's old,
so like last week, because it's kind of on your foot. Like we did so much walking in Las Vegas on Radio Row, miles according to our watches. Miles were not used to. My feet hurt, so I could have had a peroneal tendinopathy inflammation thing.
Absolutely that, or if you were playing cards too much, your wrists could start hurting, things like that. All of that stuff can kick in Vegas.
No wonder my wrist hurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Too many jokes there.
Yes.
Dr. Casey. Dr. Casey Tabor, always appreciate the time and the insight, my friend.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate it. The injury update powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at tsaog.com. Your wrist hurt?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it wouldn't be from anything else because I played a hell of a lot more blackjack.
Yes, you did.
And yeah, that doesn't happen. I know what you're thinking.
What am I?
Yeah, your mind's back in the gutter, Minix, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, don't have to do those things. When I was 16, I mean, it was a different story. That was a long time ago.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great.
All right.
And I appreciate the doc on Shohei because didn't you think he looked good?
I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about, well, elbow looks good. Yeah, that doesn't matter for hitting.
No, it doesn't matter. And I appreciate that. I learned something today.
Matters when it comes to pitching and quite honestly, throwing the ball from the outfield.
You can't do it. Yeah, he's going to be a DH most of the time.
Well, and it's crazy when you think about, what Shohei is doing in baseball, what Wemby is doing in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, last night, if you had Wemby on your pick'em entry and you had the over, you went higher, you probably won some money last night. We tell you all the time, playing underdogfantasy.com, go download the app, play the pick'em game where you pick between 2 and 5 players from at least 2 different teams. Select whether they are going to go higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It is fantasy, but legal in Texas, and a ton of fun to play. So go download the Underdog app or go to the website, underdogfantasy.com. Sign up, use my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick-em entry. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars Spring Golf Classic is set. Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas. With plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
You a big think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-952-1155. That's 800-952-1155.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like discovering a refund tree has grown in your backyard.
I'm the refund tree.
Sawing off its branches.
Hey.
Feeding them through a wood chipper.
My branches! My beautiful branches!
and dancing in its refund rain. Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Around here at Wrangler, we are all excited for spring. The longer days, the warmer nights. When you've got your pick of shorts and jeans, either works just fine. Blue skies, open roads. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville, your home for the Blitz with Jason and Joe on YouTube and always at sasportstar.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Former San Antonio Spur Bryn Forbes has been arrested on a third-degree felony charge of assault, strangulation, choking of a family member. Forbes was arrested around this time last year, if you'll recall, on a family violence charge. That was dismissed last month after he completed a pre-trial diversion program. Spurs have one more game left before the All-Star break. It's tomorrow night in Dallas against the hated Mavericks.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Out early today, Aggie basketball. Texas A&M against Vanderbilt starting at 5:30. So he asked Shireen Williams if she could go a little early today, and she was kind enough to say, of course. So Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk joining us now on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Shireen, press conference tomorrow at 2. Mike Zimmer as the defensive coordinator. I know, I don't know if it was the Cowboys that tried to keep that story alive through Super Bowl Sunday with Rex Ryan, but here we are tomorrow. Mike Zimmer officially the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think it was Rex Ryan trying to keep his hopes of getting the defensive coordinator position alive. But yeah, it was always going to be Mike Zimmer. We talked about this last week when we were at the Super Bowl, that he was the favorite for the job, and I think they wanted him, and he obviously wanted the job, and I think he'll be very, very good in the job. Dan Quinn obviously had some problems against the Kyle Shanahan tree, and maybe Mike Zimmer won't have those same problems against the Kyle Shanahan tree.
You know, Shireen, looking into your crystal ball, what kind of a different look will this Cowboys defense have, do you think, coming into next season?
That's a very good question, but I would expect the linebackers to be better, in the middle of the defensive line to be better. They'll upgrade there. I mean, I think that's obvious. I think they probably would have done that even under Dan Quinn, but I think that's two specific things you can look at. They just weren't very good at the defensive tackle spots and at the linebacker spots. So they've got to get better there. So they've got to upgrade at those positions. You know, that's probably something, frankly, that they need to spend their early draft picks on. And they thought they did that last year. And I think you'll see a different guy in Mozzie Smith next year. I think he'll be better under Mike Zimmer than he was under Dan Quinn. I mean, the Cowboys certainly hope so. They hope he's not another Taco Charlton, because we know how that worked out not very well for the Cowboys after passing, by the way, on T.J. Watt.
You know, it's the interesting part of the offseason where position coaches are going from one place to another. Sharif Floyd leaving Dallas to go be with Dan Quinn there in D.C. Adam Schefter reporting right now that the Cowboys asked the Giants for permission to talk with Andre Patterson, who was the defensive line coach in Minnesota for Mike Zimmer, but the Giants have said no. And so when you think about Mike Zimmer putting together his staff this late in the game, do you think Zim will get enough of, quote unquote, his guys?
I don't know. That was an obvious one, and it was obvious what the Giants were going to do. They were going to block that. So that, you had to ask if you're Mike Zimmer. But, yeah, it is really late, and I don't know who he's going to end up with. It's probably not going to be the staff that he particularly wants, but he'll do the best he can. And probably will have to work with some guys that he doesn't know very well. We'll have to learn on the fly. So it'll be interesting to see who they get in all these positions where they now have to hire, and there are a ton of positions on that defense that they need, key positions that they need filled.
You know, Shireen, when you look at Mike Zimmer and his reputation, and you certainly you know him better than we do, or I do, certainly, he's a little more of a hard-nosed kind of guy. How do you think that's going to play with guys like Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons and the rest of them?
Yeah, I read it was a Vikings player who said he's kind of an acquired taste, and I think that's probably pretty accurate. I think that's the best way to describe Mike Zimmer. He's an acquired taste, and it takes a little bit to get to know him and the way he works. But yeah, he's no nonsense would probably be the best word I would use. And they're going to have to practice hard. They're going to play hard. They're not going to be able to take any plays off. And it's going to be to me, it's going to be a different, but I think Dan Quinn did a remarkable job. When you look at the defense that he inherited, that gave up the most points in franchise history the year before he arrived, to what he did with this defense was remarkable. But I think that Mike Zimmer can take them to yet another level they haven't quite reached. And that could be the difference between losing in the wild card round of the playoffs and advancing.
Going to be interesting. Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk here on the Blitz. If Mike Zimmer is running a defense the way we expect Zim to run a defense, and they're playing less man than Dan Quinn did, do they have the right personnel right now for Zim, or do you think Zim can adapt his philosophies to the Cowboys personnel?
I don't think any team right now has the right personnel for anything, because you look at free agency and all the teams that have free agents. I mean, I just think that's the way it is. You got to plug in a ton of holes, no matter who you are. Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, all of them. You know, the 49ers are already talking about, how do we keep Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and all those guys together? And that's what they're talking about today. So that's the way it is every year in the NFL. So they're going to have a lot of holes to fill, and to get better at the position we talked about, to get better. Probably need, some help at corner, with Gilmore being for my mind, to re-sign. They're going to need, you got to be deep at corner. I remember one year under Dave Campo, the Cowboys carried 3 cornerbacks into the season, 3 cornerbacks into the season on their 53-player roster. And I'm like, what are you doing? And, they added as they went on, but you've got to have, in this day and age of the NFL, you've got to have more than 3 corners who can play. I mean, guys get hurt. There's injuries. A lot of times you need more corners than that out there. So just with the way the teams play now on offense, I mean, it's just such a huge passing league. So they've got to get better at corner. Even with the corners they have coming back, and Bland, and obviously Diggs coming back from his injury, to me, they still need to add another corner to that mix, whether it's a high draft pick, or whether it's re-signing Gilmore, or whether it's going out and getting somebody in free agent. They need another corner they can rely on and trust.
No, you kind of said you didn't expect Gilmore to be back. He told us he wants to come back to Dallas. If Gilmore comes back to Dallas, does that mean it has to be a very team-friendly deal?
Yeah, I think that's probably true, and I think he gets more on the open market. That's why I'm saying it. Cowboys would want him back, and he would want to come back. I just think he's going to get a much better deal on the free agent market. That's my opinion, than what the Cowboys are going to offer. I just think he gets more money, and I don't think he's going to turn down more. I mean, how many people turn down more money to stay where they are? Not very many, and we wouldn't either. I mean, frankly, I would go somewhere else too if they offered me a lot more money than what the Cowboys were offering, if that's a team I was coming from.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, when we talked with Stephon on Radio Row, I mean, his shoulder is still, they're anticipating summertime at least. I don't know how, we don't know the shape that he's going to be in once the season starts.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, to see how that shoulder heals and all those sorts of things. Maybe that makes him less desirable on the free agent market. I just think he played well enough that teams are going to want him in free agency. Maybe they don't. Maybe the Cowboys, want him more than other teams do, and they offer the best price. But to me, if they keep Gilmore, I think they're in great shape at the corner position, really, really good shape at the corner position. I just don't know how much they're going to be able to spend a free agent. They've never been on that free agent market really anyway. So how much are they going to go out? And I know Jerry said he's all in. Well, go out. Let's prove it. Let's don't just talk about it. Let's prove you're all in and get it done in free agency. Add some guys who can help you, whether that's at the linebacker position or Gilmore, re-signing Gilmore or whatever it is. Shoring up your defensive tackle spot. But they need to do something to make their roster better. And I like the trades they made last year for Cooks and for Gilmore. And if they do something like that again, I'm fine with that. I think those were really good moves that they made. And maybe it's trades rather than free agency to get those players. Maybe there's some players they like if they can trade for. Those are really good trades they made.
Yeah, they certainly were. And Gilmore, I was surprised, though, when he joined us on Friday on Radio Row. No sling or anything, and we had to ask. I mean, he had shoulder surgery.
Very tender, though.
Yeah. He did say that.
Yeah.
Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk helped us settle a debate. Kansas City dynasty. I say yes. Joe says, has it been long enough? I look at the Cowboys in the early 90s dynasty. My idea is if you're winning a bunch within a 5-year period, knowing how free agency is, that's a dynasty. Joe thinks it needs to be 10. Would you consider the Cowboys in the 90s a dynasty, and is Kansas City in the middle of a dynasty right now?
Yes and yes. I agree with both of those. I just think what Kansas City's done has been remarkable. What Patrick Mahomes has done has been remarkable to win. I was just comparing Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes' careers and to start their careers, and it's really, really close, just from championship standpoint. And then it's hard to remember, at least in my mind, when I started looking at it, the Patriots won 3 really quickly with Brady, and then they went 9 years before they won that 4th championship. So a lot of things can change. They lost in the divisional round the year after their back-to-backs. The last time they was a back-to-back champion, 2003, 2004. Then they lost in the divisional round the next year. He's been remarkably, and I'm using remarkable a lot today, I know, but injury-free in his career. An injury is going to happen at some point. It happens to every single player. It happened to Tom Brady 1 year in his 23 seasons where he, first game of the year against Kansas City, he tore that ACL and was out for the rest of the year. And that changes things a whole bunch when you lose your quarterback in week 1. So at some point he's going to have, he's been lucky because injuries are lucky. Now he gets down. He does a really good job for the most part of avoiding some of those hard hits, but he's got to keep doing that and keep having some injury luck to keep this thing going for a long period of time. But I just remember after those 3 championships that Brady won, 9 years to the next one, things can change really in a hurry. They got close, but they had Peyton Manning, and Peyton won one in there and beat him a couple times. So things can just change really quickly in this league. But yes, I would say the Chiefs are a dynasty already. I do not think, I just wrote this, that Patrick Mahomes is the greatest of all time. I agree with what he said today on the Pat McAfee show. He has a long way to go in his career before he's in that conversation. I'd put him at number 2 on the list with what he's done already. If he retires tomorrow, he's a Hall of Famer in 5 years. But I'm not putting him at number 1. He's got a long, long way to go to reach Brady. And by the way, Brady beat him twice to win 2 of his championships. Once in the AFC Championship game at Kansas City, and then once in the Super Bowl when he was with the Bucs.
All right, Shireen, I lost that debate. I'll defer to you. Let me ask you another one that we've been debating today. Kyle Shanahan in overtime. Should he have taken the ball or kicked it away?
Oh, absolutely. You take the ball. His reasoning is flawed, and it sounded to me, I was up in the press box, and I start screaming out. Everybody's looking at me. I start screaming out when they announced, the 49ers have won the toss. They will receive. So, what are you doing? What are you doing? And everybody's looking at me, and I'm like, you want the ball second. You don't want the ball first. You want to know what you have to match. And by the way, there's no possibility that you're getting to the third overtime. You're not getting to the third possession of overtime. What were the Chiefs going to do? If you had scored a touchdown and kicked the extra point, you think the Chiefs are going to kick the extra point and kick off to you? Absolutely not. And Shanahan goes, we wanted the ball in the third possession. It's not getting to a third possession. It's going 2 possessions ever. It's always going to be that way. The team with the ball second is going to beat you however they're going to beat you. If you kick a field goal, they're going to score a touchdown and win. They know what they have to do. You're going to play really good defense to beat them because they're going to go for it on 4th downs. They're going to go for it on the 2-point conversion to beat you. So you're going to play great defense. And the 49ers had a chance to do that because they had a 4th down play. They didn't cover Patrick Mahomes. If they covered him on that 4th down play, it was over. And they didn't do that. And that was the last chance they had to stop him. But they were never going to kick off the 49ers. They were going to go for 2 after the touchdown. So his whole reasoning is flawed. To me, it just seemed like they were so unprepared for the overtime rules as they were. It just seems like they were haphazard, like, this is the overtime rules. We were uncertain. And I know it hadn't been done before, but it just seemed like the Chiefs were well thought out and prepared for it, and they knew they were going to kick off if they won the coin toss. It just seemed like they were way more prepared for the overtime format that the 49ers were.
All right, Shereen, third time's a charm.
He's 0 for 2.
I'm 0 for 2. Okay,
Uh-oh.
so 4th and 5, would you have gone for the touchdown there when they kicked the field goal?
Oh, I don't know. I think I probably would have kicked the field goal there, but it is Patrick Mahomes.
That's what I
say.
I
mean, it's Patrick Mahomes. You know he's probably going to go down and score, and your defense is tired.
Yes.
I mean, that's the other thing. That's the other reason I think Kansas City doesn't kick off is because they're going to say, I don't know if our defense could stop them again. And, if you're going to kick off, you defer anyway. If you defer, then you get the opportunity. That's what people don't know. If you say I'm deferring, the Chiefs would have kicked off, obviously, but then you don't know that. Maybe you would have gotten to have the second possession and the third possession. I don't know, but they didn't think that through real well. But, yeah, knowing it's Patrick Mahomes on the other side, I would not have been opposed to them going for that first down on 4th and 5 and try to pick it up.
So
but
not convincing. We'll give him a half.
Yeah, I'll give him a half on that.
I got on the board. That's all that matters.
You got a half. You got a maybe. You got a
what was your argument for receiving?
Well, I think for everything you said, I think San Francisco and look, Shanahan's reasoning was flawed. I agree with you there. I just think San Francisco's defense was tired, and I think he thought that he needed to go score a touchdown, regardless of what Mahomes knew or they knew they had to score and let him go for 2 and take that chance. I just think he was trying to be aggressive, and I didn't have a problem with that.
Okay. The problem I have with it is he never said our defense was tired. We were trying to give them rest.
Yeah.
He said we wanted the ball in the third possession of overtime, which it's never in this format getting to a third. If you're the second team and the other team has scored a touchdown kick, you're not going to kick off because then at that point it's better than 50%. The team that gets the kickoff is going to win the game.
And I look at it, if you're gonna do that to be aggressive, then you go for it on the 5-yard line.
Well,
I mean, that was
going to be my other argument. Absolutely. If you're going to be aggressive, then go for it on 4th and 5.
But that's where I was screaming at the TV, Shereen. Go for it.
Joe also dealer showing 2, and you've got 16. Joe's hitting, so I mean, it goes that way. Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk. Great seeing you in person last week.
Great to see you last week.
And tomorrow. We'll be
see you guys.
Interesting with the press conference. We'll have plenty to talk about next week. Shereen, appreciate you being flexible with your time today as well.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Shereen Williams from Pro Football Talk on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades, they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond online at buyersbarricades.com. Machine Head coming to the Aztec Theater this Sunday. You want to go? We've got a pair of tickets we'll give away right now. We'll give them to caller number 7, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
The boys are back from Vegas.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
You heard the big game on Sunday, and the boys made it back thanks to AA Best Bail Bonds and presented by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Next year, it's off to the Big Easy on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
I'm a lawyer for you. I've helped you.
Yes, he has, and many others here in San Antonio. And that's why I'm so glad I get a chance to talk to you today about what happens when you get into an accident.
It's overwhelming for everybody involved. You have this paralysis of what to do next, who to talk to, how do you get medical care, or you're in the hospital and who's going to pay for this. It's this swirl of anxiety, and many times it's even worse than the injury itself. You have to help people through that situation. And I tell every client the same thing. Don't worry. I've got this. I will take care of this. Just worry about your family. Just worry about getting healthy. If I can do that for you and maximize your recovery, you stay in business, you keep clients. And for 30 years, I've kept every client I've ever had. I don't lose clients. I represent their family and friends because that's how seriously I take my job.
A lawyerforus.com. You can find him at 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text KETTLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text KETTLE to 321-321. That's KETTLE to 321-321.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose.
Mommy.
That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Hi, my name is Alani. A little thing I like about the Spicy Deluxe sandwich is that you taste the crunch, you taste the pepper jack cheese melting, and you taste the spicy flavors in the sandwich. I'm telling you, 10 out of 10.
Hi, my name's Enrique. A little thing I love about Chick-fil-A's Spicy Deluxe sandwich is you get that rich flavor of the chicken and definitely that nice, tangy, warm bite. It's the perfect harmony of spiciness and taste.
Order the Spicy Deluxe sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is Rob Thompson. I'm here with my brother, Jason, a practicing attorney in San Antonio for 30 years. Jason, what does that mean?
What it means is I've been representing people and families here in San Antonio injured in auto, truck, motorcycle collisions, serious injury, death accidents, taking those families and helping them through some of the worst times of their life. I've been practicing law in San Antonio for so long. I remember when the Cowboys were champions.
Seriously.
And a great staff that handles kind of the blocking and tackling of what it takes to represent clients. There are so many phone calls that need to be made, so many connections you have to have between insurance companies, physicians, opposing lawyers, relationships that you build over 30 years with adjusters, with insurance companies, with defense attorneys, with local judges. When I represent a client, they know that I'm lending my name, my reputation built on 30 years of experience to that client to get them justice.
It's Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com. Call him at 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $3 $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW WINDOws for your free consultation on top quality, affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW WINDOws right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW WINDOws. 800-NEW WINDOws.
Still arguing on what Shanahan did or didn't do, even though he took a couple of L's from Shireen Williams settling arguments.
Oh, that's all right. She was coming around to my side, though, at the end.
I think she was feeling sorry for you.
You think so?
I really do.
I don't think Shireen feels sorry for me, and that's okay. That's why I love about her. She's going to speak her mind, just like we do. That's great. I love it.
And the reality is, that's the beautiful thing about what we do for a living.
Absolutely.
Or we do it for a living. If you're sitting at the Brew Pub having beers, having an argument, your opinion, it's just like Dan Campbell. What was he doing? If he's successful, he's brilliant.
He's a genius.
And if it doesn't work out, the hell were you doing? And we're going to second guess you forever.
Absolutely.
You want to second guess stuff? This is funny. Barstool Sports on Twitter just posted this. Brandon Marshall is claiming that Kanye West tried to buy seats right in front of Taylor Swift's suite so he could photobomb her.
That does not surprise me.
Nah, it doesn't surprise anybody.
Not at all. In fact, I'm shocked that I would be shocked if he didn't do that. That's awesome. Taylor Swift was great.
She was.
54 seconds is all she got shown, according to whoever keeps track of all of that kind of stuff.
And all the guys that are mad realize just how long 54 seconds really is.
I guess so. And most guys don't know that.
That's the best meme. But you're the only one that thinks 54 seconds is a long time.
Well, it depends. The older you get, the
dude, it's Valentine's tomorrow.
Oh, man.
You got to rest up.
Yeah.
Save up.
Why did Valentine's Day? And I'm not a Valentine's Day guy. I think it's a made up thing with, by drugstores and Hallmark and
the flower
all of that
people.
stuff. But apparently it's a big deal to a lot of ladies.
Apparently.
Apparently.
You're 60-something years old. You're just now figuring this out?
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, you had to call into favor to get a reservation when your wife asked, did you make your reservation?
Well, you talk about something that your wife says that surprises the hell out of you. I looked up and went, your heart drops, and I'm like, no.
See, my wife told me a long time ago, flowers on Valentine's Day is a cop-out gift.
Yeah.
And now she's mad she never gets them.
Really?
But she's the one that told me that's a cop-out gift.
Well, she told you she wanted a vacuum cleaner.
And I did for Christmas. And she got what she asked for. I still get in trouble.
Well, as you should.
If you need advice on Valentine's Day, don't listen to the morning cuddle tomorrow.
No.
Because I heard them talking about how they're going to have Valentine's Day advice.
Really?
Yeah. Now, Rob, he said the other night in Vegas, man, my wife tolerates a lot. And she does.
She does.
RJ's a newlywed. Those are two guys I wouldn't listen to for Valentine's advice tomorrow.
Well, I would listen to RJ perhaps more than Rob Thompson.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Pledge, you're pointing at a clock. What's our okay?
There we go.
We're taking it right up to 30. All right. Aggies, Vanderbilt,
Woo!
The voice of Andrew Monaco next on 94.1.
For this football team to move in the direction that they want to move in,
Yeah.
if that's not addressed, then I don't see this football team moving in that capacity.